All right, we are live. Sorry I am late, everyone, but I had some errands to run that really could not wait, that, in all honesty, I forgot all about. So, yeah, that was a thing. That happened right there. So, uh, now that I'm back, we can go ahead and start this show because we have a quite an amazing amount of butthurt that we need to go over. And so, to make sure I'm not forgetting anything, I am going to put the comments on my phone. And that way I can keep track of what the fuck is being said. So I'm also going to send the link out to people. So, Jared, get your ass in here. Gio, get your ass in here. I'm also going to invite Ness, get your ass in here. Please bear with me for a quick moment while I send the link out to pretty much all the important bitches and hoes. All right, there's that. Let's see. Okay, and then we'll also send it to this bitch. We'll send it to this bitch. And we'll also send it to this bitch. Okay. And I'll also send the link to this bitch. And let's send the link to one more bitch, which is the biggest bitch. We'll send it to that bitch. Cool. Bitch has been invited. Hey, Jared, how's it going? Gotta unmute yourself, by the way.
It's another wonderful day in paradise.
Another wonderful day. Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Hello.
Hello, Alex. How's it going?
Nice, thanks.
Yep.
Hello.
And hello, Sean. How's it going? So, by popular demand, I don't know why, but apparently people actually care about my opinions on some things. So, and being that there is a extraordinary amount of butthurt going on, apparently they want me to make a hangout and talk about the said butthurt that has been going on.
Oh,
And-
we're not done with the butthurt yet.
Oh, I know. We're going to be dealing with this shit for months. And also, Microblog said that he couldn't join us because he is at a wedding, and that makes him a bitch. So he's the, as far as I know, he's going to be in a little tutu, and he's the guy that throws rose petals down as the, you know, groom and bride. They walk down the fucking aisle and shit like that. So yeah.
Alrighty then. So who finally agreed to marry the slime?
Well, let's see. I was checking out a few of the comments. I let everything kind of settle overnight, and so I went to bed, and sure as shit, as soon as I woke up, I found a catastrophic amount of butthurt that we should go over. And one of the biggest batches of butthurt was from Part-Time Vegan. Now, remember
Yeah.
that, that, you know, used to go by Alkaline Artist?
Isn't that the guy that also said a couple weeks back that he'll get back with you?
Yeah, he'll get back to me, or he
prepared.
he also needs to do more research. He was the guy that didn't understand that shadows actually start getting a little bit blurry around the edges the further away the object is away from the surface is projecting the shadow on.
Right.
And so he had to go outside and actually do this shit himself, which is kind of okay, being that he's actually investigating this shit. But at the same time, I have to ask, you've never looked at your fucking shadow? So yeah, that was a thing. I don't know whether to be happy about that they actually went outside to do the observation, or to be sad about the fact that he never actually looked at his own shadow.
I think he's a groundhog, and it's always winter, and it's always spring.
Oh,
That is insulting to groundhogs.
you are insulting groundhogs with that, you sir. I give you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and go over some of the completely retarded as fuck comments I've been getting about this shit. So I'm going to start with one that is all about me, of course, and it is the solar eclipse that happened My footage of it, that is. Because, as we all know, Sean Hufford played no part in this whatsoever.
Oh, no, of course not.
Not
Of course not. I mean, I didn't even see the fucker there.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, hint, hint, click,
Yeah.
click. Anyway, so with that being said, I went ahead and took a look at some of the comments that we were getting. And a bunch of people whose comments are not approved, they were spamming links that it wasn't the moon that caused the eclipse. And I go, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Going over some of Soundly's footage, I think we pretty well nailed that down and showed that was just total bullshit last night.
Yeah, I wish I
Oh,
could make it, but I was just so exhausted.
the one picture alone that Soundly showed at the end, it was so blatantly obvious that it was the moon that I just want to take it, put it onto a cricket board, and use it to repeatedly bash in the skulls of all the people who say it wasn't the moon.
Yes, you see this, bash, there you go. There you go. Did it hurt? Did it hurt? Oh, it did? Okay, whenever you think of something stupid, I want you to remember that pain. I want you to remember it. And also, on top of that, I received another link to a video saying that somehow, some way, the moon, eclipsing the sun proves a flat Earth. I didn't watch it because at that point, the stupid overload was already occurring, and I didn't want to do something later on that I might regret that requires a significant amount of alcohol. But apparently that is a thing there. And so what I was thinking that we would do, if I actually feel up for it in a bit, after I go over the other pieces of information I want to go over, we would actually watch one of these videos and see exactly how big of a train wreck they actually are.
Oh, I just saw a comment in the thread. Somebody, flat earthers are apparently saying, how can you see the ISS if it's the size of a bus and 250 miles away? It's a little bigger than a bus.
Yeah, so isn't it the size of a
Football field?
Football field, yeah.
Yes.
So it's the size of a football field. Not only that, cameras do this awesome thing sometimes. It's called zoom.
P900, the flat earther camera of choice.
Yes, approved by every single flat earther, except when it debunks their bullshit. You know what? Someone make that meme. Make that meme. Okay? First person to make that meme gets $1 signed by me. And it is valuable. And I base that value on absolutely nothing. Do it.
Well, no, you base the value on the fact that it's a dollar bill.
Doesn't my
Ergo,
signature
it is
on
worth something.
Isn't my signature on it kind of make it less of $1 in principle? I mean, morally speaking.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
this does become a moral argument. At this
it
point.
does get your taint. So.
So basically, you're saying I should rub it on the pineal area.
Oh God.
the taint of red taint.
I want everyone
Wow.
to remember that. Whenever you have a peaceful moment in your life, just remember that and ruin it.
I'm starting to regret shaking your hand at that time.
There you go. Now you're catching on.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I shook your hand. Why's my hand burn? And he goes, don't worry, it goes away in a few days. Basically, I infected your hand.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Next, I want to read some comments from Part-Time Vegan. So, let's see. Here's one. I still don't know what it is, but if multiple independent sources can track it, which only seen Red track it so far because this motherfucker doesn't know how to search for other videos that do the exact same thing on YouTube, then we can safely conclude that something is orbiting the Earth. Now, what that something is, again, I don't know. But the next comment he says, an object orbiting the Earth doesn't prove satellites or around Earth. Apparently, this dude doesn't know what an orbit is.
Apparently not.
So if something is orbiting the Earth, I mean, a process of elimination should be very simple here. That's all I'm saying.
You mean we have a process where we can start eliminating them? Yes!
Yeah, go figure. Such a process actually exists. So after that was part-time vegan. Is there anything that would convince you that the ISS is what we are told it is, besides actually flying you up to it? That was an actual question that was never answered. On the flat Earth model, the sun and moon orbit the Earth, so an orbiting object would actually be considered possible. Now, the exact mechanics, I do not know. Well, at least he's honest there, but he still doesn't know what an orbit is.
Magic.
So basically, is he calling the little tracks that the sun and moon take over the flat Earth like an orbit? Because that's not what an orbit is.
That's what he's trying to push, but yeah.
I mean, it doesn't orbit the Earth at that point.
But it's spinning above. Isn't that an orbit when things spin?
No. Okay, so then after that, part-time vegan 9 hours ago said, nope, for it to be a satellite, it would have to be artificial. No, that is false. The moon is a satellite. Okay? Why do you think we put the word artificial in front of satellites when we refer to something man-made? Artificial satellites.
Gee, there's no connection there at all.
No connection there at all. Yeah.
Well, even then, granted, he could be thinking about how people call it an ATM machine. Exactly.
Yeah, so that happened. So let's see. So he says, nope, for it to be a satellite, it would have to be artificial. How do I know it's not some natural comet we've been tracking for years? He misspelled tracking and went tracing. All I saw was a tiny speck flash across. So again, I don't know what it is. And Sigma O, I guess he was supposed to complete, Sigma Tantus, but whatever. Yes, it exists, but there is no more to this comment. I think he was going to type, as I previously explained, there is no southern pole star. As if that takes away from the fact that there is still a south celestial point.
Which is not very far from the Sigma Tantus.
Yes. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I saw another video. It indeed resembles a satellite. And your quotes confirm my assertion. There is no southern pole star. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god.
I mean,
technically, on those grounds, there is no North Pole star either.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not directly on the celestial pole. It's slightly off.
Right.
And I have pictures to prove this. I mean, I confirmed this shit in my front yard. I mean, I used a GoPro, and apparently GoPro is the devil, and so they won't, take that on board, but it's still there. And also, I will be inviting Pure Anarchy into this hangout, so it will turn into a shit show momentarily.
Yeah.
And let's see. And other than that, it said, it is easier to support a side that is more substantive. Yeah, I think he was supposed to spell it substantiated, but whatever. But perhaps our universe is shrouded, misspelled shrouded, in mysteries that we simply cannot know. In any case, I would rather pursue these questions than to be a cheerleader for a side who thinks they know the answer. Forgot an A in there to make it make sense. For example, your side believes things falling down because of an invisible force called gravity. How do I know that there's things falling downward isn't just a fundamental fact of reality? It is. It's called gravity.
Holy shit! Yes, it is a fundamental fact of reality. It happens, and
let's hold on a second. We can't see electricity. We can't see magnetism, but we know they work. Hello.
Yeah.
It's not that far of a stretch.
Yeah, well, and even then, science in general, scientists in general, do not say we have all the answers. The whole thing about shrouded in mystery and everything, they embrace that. They say, we don't know everything. This is the best explanation we have with what we have seen, measured, and experienced. Based on the information we have, this is the best explanation we have. If more information comes along and that explanation has to be tweaked, guess what? They love doing that. They're not fucking stuck in their explanations. Holy shit, people.
Yeah, and also another holy shit moment is that, you know, I understand flat earthers like to say math isn't reality, but if the numbers agree with our assertion to the point where I can make accurate predictions, such as if I travel to this location in shitty Florida and point the fucking camera at the sun, I should see a space station go across, and it works, what the fuck does that tell you? That kind of should point to the fact that we kind of know what the fuck we're talking about when we can make predictions like that. And that prediction was actually made when I was still in Tennessee.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it literally said it was the day I got to Tennessee in the first. I flipped on my phone. There's an app that you can download. And so I clicked onto it, and then I was like, oh, so as soon as I get back, I can do this. Okay, that was predicted to the fucking second when the ISS would pass in front of the sun at that particular location in Florida. I went there, did the observation, and guess what? It worked out perfectly. So I want to see flat earthers make a similar prediction.
Oh, they'll just download the app and do the same thing, but they're going to say it's because it's the earth is flat.
Yeah, of course. So I want to see them do. Let's see them do it with flat math. I mean, I don't know the exact mechanics involved or the mathematics involved. That goes a little bit beyond me. But I know someone who does, who can probably, you know, work on it for me or with me or whatever. And that's Astronomy Live. Astronomy Live was actually able to calculate when the next solar eclipse was going to happen with no help from anyone else. And guess what? The math works out perfectly. And so if he were to help me work out the math, I'm pretty sure that without even touching the app at all and using mathematics that's based on gravity and a round Earth, I should be able to repeat the observation. I want to see flat earthers do that. Use their flat math, for example. Yeah, exactly. I know. But that caused a tremendous amount of butthurt. And then also, Nature Hacker had the cutest comment because, yes, he's back.
Oh, our favorite shirtless air quote engineer.
Yeah. You know the guy that doesn't know how to hold the phone sideways? Yeah, that guy. So Nature Hacker said, wow, thumbnail clickbait, anyone? Question mark? I was like,
video?
On my ISS transit video.
Oh, because you actually used a big picture instead of the actual transit so people could see what the hell they're talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. So I replied to him, only you would think the thumbnail might be an actual picture. # not surprised. So go figure, right? It's to the point where he's very, very low on the totem pole and running out of shit to bitch about. So I think that was the best that he could do. And now he's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to bitch about your thumbnail now.
Because he can't bitch about anything else.
Well, has he said anything about your launch and landing, the last one?
No, he hasn't said anything about the launch or the landing.
Oh, it's not a flare this time?
Yeah, well, apparently he's actually taken my advice and shutting the fuck up about it. Although that's a double-edged sword. While it is great to see him shutting the fuck up about it because it's been rammed so far up his ass this time, it's actually starting to get somewhat uncomfortable even for a tremendous fuck nozzle like him. It does get rid of 99.9% of the lulls from the douchebag. So are we thankful for the fact that he's not spewing stupid shit, or do we miss the lulls that the stupid shit produces?
Kind of miss it.
No.
I kind of miss some of the hilarity, but right before I forget, that link that I put into the green chat that came from Flamingo Boot is actually a pretty decent tracking with the ISS, where you can actually see the overall shape of it.
Look at the chat, Red, from Rich Man. You're going to just want to kill yourself.
Okay, so let me just get the Ruger out. Okay, we're good. Let's do this. Okay, the moon has phases. So the back of the moon and sun are dark black, spins way around to continue, blah, 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 phases the sun as a black back as well. Explain how.
He's saying the sun goes through phases like the moon because it's dark on the backside.
He apparently doesn't understand that the if that were the case, you would have a Terminator line. You know, the line between the dark and the bright side, and that would be a circle. So it would be an eclipse seen from the sides, which is not what we see during solar eclipses.
Okay, so I'm going to. This is a level of stupidity or trolling I'm not willing to tolerate. So, if anyone, I'm not going to do it, but if anyone wants to whack that troll, be my guest.
Oh, now that
I had to put.
Now that you've done the whole "let's whack the troll," he's okay. I agree with you. What a douche!
I had to put on my face palm protection for that one.
I'm going to silence him for 5 minutes just because principle.
Yeah, just because I'm principal. So let's see. Okay, on the level.
Go sit in the corner, think about what you did, and don't do it again.
Exactly. Also, on the level was another douchebag that commented on the ISS transit video and is now in the live chat. So, on the level has been one of these idiots that is saying shit like, you know, how do I know it's the ISS or whatever? It's just a tiny blob. But I want to do this for him. On the level, I am inviting you into this hangout right now. All you have to do is comment in the live chat that you're actually willing to show the fuck up if I actually give you the fucking link. So comment in the live chat that you'll actually show up. Otherwise, the rest of the live chat is going to call you a pussy, and deservingly so.
He won't join.
Haven't you invited him on other occasions as well? And he's always, oh, I can't do it right now.
That's been through multiple people. I don't know if it was him, but it might have been.
I invited him like 2 or 3 times in my last hangouts, and he never joined. He just simply ignored my requests or my invitations.
What was he spouting in your hangout? I'm curious.
So the last hangouts I had was with Anthony regarding the solar eclipse, and he said some stupid shit. I can't remember what exactly it was. And
one of those things you try to forget.
What?
It's one of those things you actively try to forget.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm an alcoholic. So, yeah. After asking him, he simply continued with the spewing of the bullshit, but he never reacted to the invitations at all.
Yeah,
so I think there's literally no chance he will join.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you know, this douchebag, when he was commenting. In fact, actually, let me go to his comments next because we can have a bit of fun with this. Okay, so if you go to my ISS solar transit video, he replies to my original comment, which was this was a re-upload because the first time I uploaded it, I didn't zoom in and like adjust the contrast so you could see it clearly, because people were saying that if you view it on a mobile, you actually won't be able to see it. And I tried it on my cell phone, and I was like, wow, they're right. This is shit. So I'm going to have to add a few more clips into here. So I zoomed in, add a bit of contrast, and you can see it on at least my mobile, so everyone else should. But in that comment thread, he says, Red's rhetoric, I'll stoop to your level of language and intelligence. How the fuck is that spec the ISS, you fucking retard, fake as fuck, you fucking lying, spastic wanker? And so I replied, because not only did the pass match the parameters of the ISS perfectly, which allowed me to predict its orbit, the object even looks like the ISS. In the still I posted in the description, you can make out the classic H shape of the ISS as well. Now fuck off, you lying, idiotic conspiratard who had the best part of him slide down the backside of his mama's crack and end up as brown stain on the mattress. And then he replied here. Let me just educate you on natural physics. The higher up you go, the thinner the air. So the thinner the air, the heavier the object that's surrounded by the thin air. So to summarize, the higher you go, the heavier you become. There is not a magical point where you become lighter and float space. Debunked, you total and utter town clown.
What?
Don't ask me to
You read that verbatim, right?
Yes, don't ask me to reread it. I'm just going to...
Please don't. That actually made my ears bleed.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to copy and paste it in the internal chat, so there you go.
Oh, now my eyes get to bleed. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. All of a sudden, the donkey porn that you saw on my laptop wasn't so bad now, is it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yes. Remember it.
Might I point him to the wandering gnome experiment? They have proven the higher you go, the lighter you are.
Yeah.
With a yard gnome that was mailed literally all over the world and tested its weight at various altitudes, longitudes, latitudes. And generally speaking, the higher the altitude, the gnome was lighter. Not much, but measurable.
Measurable. Let's see. Air density has nothing to do with how much you weigh, you uneducated shitbag. That was my comment. Also, the crew on the ISS are floating because they are in a constant state of free fall towards the planet. Imagine you had a ball and you threw it sideways. It would curve and hit the ground. Well, what if the curve of its path matched the curve of the Earth? Well, with a toss fast enough, the ball would actually curve towards the Earth, but the Earth would curve away just as fast. This is what an orbit is. Once you go fast enough, you can miss the Earth indefinitely. Look up Newton's canon and educate yourself. So that was my reply to him. And needless to say, he didn't bother looking up what Newton's canon actually was. So he's still making these retarded fucking comments. And this is the guy who's actually in the live chat right now.
Well, he hasn't said anything since you offered to bring him in here.
Well, he said prove it was the ISS. So I did get one picture now. A bit of context to this. I didn't zoom in all the way because, in all fairness, I didn't know what part of the sun it was going to pass through. And I wanted to make sure that I would capture at least the entire sun in the frame. That way, at least I have a guarantee of catching the damn thing. So when you zoom in, you're zooming in digitally on my editor. And so you can still make out the H, but it is still a little bit blurry, but it's still distinct enough that you can tell it's the International Space Station.
On the level, I actually finally said something. He said the higher you go, the thinner the air, so the heavier you are, clown. Okay, where's your experimental proof of that?
Oh, so are you going to get your ass in this hangout or not?
The gnome experiment proved you wrong. Where's your experiment to prove otherwise?
Yes, we'll be waiting for a very,
very long time.
Yes, exactly. Let me also
also, since we know that the air density gets thinner the higher you go, why don't things weigh an infinite amount of weight in a vacuum chamber? You're a dumbass.
There we go. I'm going to share screens right now. So this is a really shit picture, but I think it should at least drive home the point. This is the International Space Station when it was on transit. Now, even though it is a blurry image, you can kind of see these two large lines on each side with the cross. So the classic H pattern is actually there. And so if I'm able to capture this with a homemade filter and a Nikon P900 and digitally zooming in, which keep in mind, the zoom level I was at is perfectly reachable by cameras with 60x optical, which are dirt cheap right now, especially on Amazon, you could actually do this yourself. And in the description of that video, I put links to the app that I used as well as the website that I used so that you could actually do this shit yourself, weather permitting, of course. So go out, do it yourself, buy a cheap filter. They're on Amazon too. Now they're even cheap. Now the solar eclipse is fucking done and the next one's not going to be here for what, 8 years, 7 years?
7.
So 7 years. So we're good. We're good.
And heads up, Red, that eclipse path is actually going to go over my parents' house.
I'll see you in 7 years, dickhead.
Thought you might say something like that.
There we go. Yeah, you think I'd miss this party? You thought I would miss the first party? No. I was the man of the hour then. I'll be the man of the hour. So let's see.
The man of the hour that only lasts a minute?
Okay, listen. You can go fuck yourself, okay? All right, and that was only because I lost my mojo after driving your fucking minivan.
Yeah, hey, we'll say it's that.
Hey, you loved how it handled.
Okay, in all fairness, that minivan did handle very, very nicely. But then again, I only have a Chrysler Town and Country to compare it to, which is a shitbox. So you could only go up from there, right?
Well, I don't know. There
okay.
is still Dodge.
Okay, so basically Pure Anarchy said, it's going over Texas, no excuse to get your ass to my house. He does have a point there.
I refuse to go to Texas. Sorry.
Why do you refuse to go to Texas?
Because it's Texas.
Because everything's bigger in Texas.
Oh God.
That's
I'm just saying you're short, Kara.
No, there's only two things that come from Texas: steers and queers. And do you have horns there, boy?
You don't look much like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down.
Okay, we've had 2 Full Metal Jacket references today. I think I've had enough.
Yes. Also, Part-Time Vegan is in the chat, so yippee. We were just talking about your comments and how retarded they were, honestly. So basically, if you guys remember, Part-Time Vegan was commenting in the comment section of the ISS transit video. I still want to know about his opinion of the solar eclipse, if he thinks it actually makes sense on a flat Earth and how he can explain that. But I would like to talk to him about the transit as well as the solar eclipse. So if it's all right with you guys, should I send him an invite?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Boy.
Go ahead.
Oh boy. This is going to be fun.
Exactly.
This is going to be fun. But story time, though. We caught the waves, correct? On the 4K footage?
Yes, we did. And it's hard to see them because the contrast isn't really set high, but they are there. And it's just really almost hypnotic to see them come and go.
Now, question. I understand that it's not actually known, but what causes them?
There's several hypotheses on what causes it. The one I'm leaning to is the same thing that causes twinkling stars.
Wait, what wave? I think I missed something.
The shadow snakes. They're shadow snakes, ground waves. The official name is ground waves, and it's just shadows that like wiggle around right as totality starting and ending.
I wonder if it could be diffraction. Like you get diffraction spikes in a telescope. You'd also get diffraction as light skims across the surface of the moon.
It could be. Like I said, there's several hypotheses on what causes it, but science does not have an answer to it. They just have several good guesses, but they haven't had a really good way to consistently test it since eclipses are so few and far between.
Yep. Also, a bit of an update. I went ahead and sent Part-Time Vegan the link to the Hangout. So he has been invited, and now it becomes a waiting game because I do want to talk to him about the ISS transit that happened or that I recorded. So I caught a few things: a Falcon 9 landing, and a solar eclipse, and an ISS transit. I think it's safe to say that there has been a catastrophic amount of butthurt from the Flat Earther crowd, and I'm actually enjoying myself quite honestly. And Part-Time Vegan, you have to check your G+. Check your actual G+ feed. I shared it only with you, so you'll see it right there.
Yeah, the two most common or the most widely quote unquote accepted is the atmosphere causing the sun's edge to twinkle like a star. Then there's the gravitational lensing of the moon, which is very, very slight. There's also the diffraction, which is like a double slit experiment across the entire edge of the moon as since the topography is not even.
Mm-hmm.
There is, oh God, what's the other ones?
The atmosphere one seems most plausible. I think about
like I said, until I actually saw it, I was leaning towards the gravitational lensing, and then I saw what the effect was, and I kind of fell away from that and went towards the twinkling thing. The lie of Riley. Oh God, I love it.
I'd be curious to know if it's ever been observed in orbit, like the ISS. If it passed through totality, they could try and observe that. Gosh, that's hard to say though.
The lie of and the live chat. Okay.
Yeah, Red, you heard that, right? That Anthony Riley deleted his channel.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yeah, he committed YouTube-side.
Wait a minute. So he deleted his channel. Oh, about fucking time. I mean, that's so
He's working on a new video, though.
Here's the thing, Red. He deleted his channel because he couldn't keep his word. His word was that if the parallax of the solar eclipse matched what was predicted, he would support the globe Earth.
Okay.
It matched, and he couldn't man up and keep his own word. So proving again, he's a liar. So he's, instead of facing that, he just deleted his channel.
Well, and not to
Wow.
mention the 1,000-pound bet that he made with Mark Taylor that he is welching on.
Yeah.
Oh, the 1,000. Oh, I have to hear this. So, what was the bet?
The bet was that Anthony thought that a solar eclipse would happen every month. Because according to him, every month the moon passes directly between the Earth and the Sun, which is obviously bullshit because it can only happen where the two planes of the different orbits cross over. And he was explained this like 4 or 5 times in that short hangout, but still didn't either accept and or understand it.
That's
In order to, when it was explained to him by a flat earther that he was in the hangout with that he was wrong, he changed his claim to, well, it's always having an eclipse. We just don't see it because the shadow's not touching the Earth. Well, that's kind of the definition of a solar eclipse.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously doesn't understand, or maybe he does, but he's stupid to formulate it correctly.
No,
that the moon is always casting a shadow.
Hence phases.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. I also I've been informed of a update that has happened, and it looks like someone is incredibly butthurt. So let's see. Blocked by Red's Rhetoric channel. I'm sad. Where is Shroomy?
What?
I'm just gonna go ahead and screen share this because I don't fucking know. So here we go. There's this guy. I'm Rick.
Oh.
Let me present to everyone. So this is a thing, apparently.
Okay. Did you block him?
I did not.
So he's full of shit.
He's a troll, obviously.
I don't know. I mean, does this dude have a G Plus account? Maybe it's blocked on his G Plus.
He has gone to trolling. He was.
Yeah, he's not blocked.
I think he's trying to be. I think he's trying to be funny.
I don't know. He's not blocked there, so that doesn't work. And now to block somebody, you have to go to the About page, and then you have to click on this little flag. Nope, it says block user, so he's not blocked. So what the actual fuck?
Check your community settings.
Community settings? Where the fuck are those?
Go to your channel and then go to your dashboard, your video manager, and then go down to community.
Okay, I'll try that next and see what it brings me to. Let's see. So blah 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 blah.
And yes, Emmerich is a troll. He'll rag on everybody. I've already seen it.
So I'm just, well, whether he's a troll or not is beside the point. I just want to make sure the dude's not actually blocked because he isn't.
As far as you know.
Well, the two places where he would be blocked are G Plus and YouTube, and he's not blocked on either one. Oh, fuck it. If he's blocked, he's blocked. Come on a fake account, dude. I know you have one. So let's go ahead and see what we got here.
When did you throw Emmerich an invite?
What's that?
When did you throw Emmerich an invite?
I didn't.
I wonder if it's A4.
Might be. I know that he was banned by Fiona, but that was only in the live chat, and that doesn't actually permanently ban somebody from a live chat, does it?
I think it does with one of the new changes because Anthony blocked me from his channel, and I cannot speak on his live chats when he was still having a channel.
Oh,
so
when he was still having a channel.
They are kind of tied together, and I'm not sure exactly how. I've not taken the time to test everything yet.
Huh.
I just know that if you block somebody on your channel, like hide users' comments from all users, it actually blocks them from all future live chats now.
Well, that's something. All right, then I shall keep that in mind. Also, part-time vegan. It's been like 10 minutes since I sent that shit to you. Fucking click the shit.
He's having the standard flat earth response of not knowing how to click a link.
Why is that always the fucking problem?
Because they know they're going to get owned.
That has always been a problem. That has always been a problem.
We are not an echo chamber of theirs. Therefore, they are not terribly excited to come in here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he says he's fixing his mic. Have you taken the time to look at your shadow yet?
It's yeah.
Have you done that research you were going to talk about? Just wondering. Or did you just watch more Flat Earth videos?
Probably just watch more Flat Earth videos, to be completely honest with you. It's like, if you're going to show up, then show up. Let's see.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
For becoming nominated for Dumbfuck of the Year, do you still have to have a YouTube channel?
It's not part of the original rules, so no.
I would say yes, because it helps to rub in the butthurt.
It makes it easier to make the nomination videos for people to vote on.
When they actually have videos up.
No. See, not quite, because that might actually be a get out of jail free card. Hypothetically speaking, if someone knew that they have reached a level of dumbfuckery needed to actually win this damn thing, and then just before they actually win it, they delete their channel, only to come back after the award is given to somebody else, they just dodged a bullet there. So
no. If they have their own content, we can save it, make the nomination video, and they could still win.
They could still win. So I'm going to say no, it doesn't matter if you have a YouTube channel or not. It only matters that we're nominating you for the shit you did when you did have a YouTube channel.
Right, perfect.
Yes, there.
So and the rules have changed from to this year from last year. So last year, you had to have spoken to me at least once. That way we keep it local. But now the rules have changed where you only have to speak to one of the 10 people I select to be on the panel, or 9 people, because I'm going to include myself in there as well. So 9 people that I select are going to be on the panel. If you've spoken to any one of these people that I choose, that makes you eligible for Dumbfuck of the Year. And then the next step is for you to do something that warrants a severe amount of dumbfuckery to actually do in the fucking first place. So there you go.
The pictures from
Kansas City.
I am
okay. Kansas City is officially the dumbfuck capital of the world. Deb is showing me a video on Facebook. Somebody actually built solar eclipse glasses for their rooster.
What?
It's an actual video.
It says, be safe.
Oh my god, it looks so stupid.
It says, be safe. Wear your
Okay.
eclipse glasses. 10 minutes to totality here in Kansas City.
Kansas City. Yeah.
Also, on the level says you guys already won Dumbfuck award. I go, first of all, learn how to spell already, learn how to spell the word dumb, and I'm putting you in timeout.
Did he do? I didn't see that one. Did he do DUM?
No.
Yes, DUM.
Yeah,
Oh,
DUM.
My God.
Yes.
And it is all ready. Not already. All ready. Is, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Irony overload.
Yeah, I'm Rick. You're actually commenting now. How are you able to do that if you're blocked?
Because he's a troll.
I guess so. Anyway, moving on. So part-time vegan said, give me 7 minutes. Why 7? No idea.
It's very specific. I mean, just saying.
It's very, very specific. Exactly.
Well, he's rubbing one off to this because of the attention he's getting. Then he needs to clean up.
Is he Geordie LaForge? He can, give an exact number of how long it's going to take him to fix his mic. That's some hell of a predictive power, man.
I don't actually know why he has to fix his mic. Mine is always attached to my computer, so it's always working. I mean, do you have to order a new mic every time you come into these fucking hangouts? Is that how it works in Flat Earth Society? I don't know. Red Zereric is a space Nazi that stole my dog. Listen, your dog is not my best friend. Don't make it weird, okay? We're bros now. And
if
listen,
anyone stole the dog, it would have been me.
And listen, I'm not a Nazi. I was simply giving directions. I was telling you to take the Third Reich, and you completely misunderstood what I fucking said. So fuck you.
Hey, you are not allowed to make Nazi jokes. That's my job.
Oh, wow.
Good shit.
Well, I have heavy German bloodlines. Do I get afforded that offer?
It depends how pure is your blood.
Jared and Sean, sorry I didn't get to say goodbye in person. I had a lovely time. I'm so grateful to have met you and everyone else.
That's okay. The spider I left on your neck when you were sleeping in the car, that was the goodbye.
There you go. By the way, Hannah, that's why the back of your neck was kind of itchy on the drive back. Just so you know, you might be, yeah.
Seriously, Hannah, that was a fabulous time. I'm glad everybody made it.
Some bitch, that was you.
Red found the spider. I just put it there.
Yeah, it was a big motherfucker. And also,
wait, was that the same spider that made Pew rethink biology?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, that fucker was huge.
That fucker was huge. Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh, God damn, did we just... I didn't know Tennessee was Australia. Holy shit.
Ask Sly about it. I told him about everything that was trying to kill him down there.
Well, no, there is a difference. In Tennessee, things can kill you. In Australia, they are actively hunting you.
It's okay, Rich. That's what the timeout was for. So you can, rethink your life.
Yeah, of course. Although it was, Hannah honestly was really upset she didn't get to say goodbye because I don't know. I told her to go into the car to get something. I don't even remember what I told her to
She
get.
fell asleep.
And then she fucking passed out, and I'm like, wow, she's literally asleep. So we just left her there.
Well, I didn't want to wake her up just to say goodbye. It would have been nice, but we had a great time together, all of us down there. So I figured she deserved the sleep.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm telling you, she was passed out, just absolutely passed out. So, in fact, the next morning, she didn't even remember how she got to the hotel room. And I was like, oh, don't worry. There's a lot of things I'm thankful you don't remember. Yep, it's good. And Hannah says, I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. Like I said, we had a great time while you were awake. So that makes up for the fact we couldn't say goodbye.
Yes. And so moving on, part-time is supposed to be into this chat any moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the comment section and the solar eclipse. Not the solar eclipse, the ISS solar transit. And the sun has been the star the last few days, okay? It gets confusing. And I'm also going to open my editor so we can take this frame by frame because I know we have to go frame by frame for these flat earth fuckheads. So let me open this up. I'm going to ask if you guys can see my screen momentarily, so bear with me for a quick moment. And also, I would like to tell other people to do this observation themselves because the more we get people to do this, the more evidence that, gives me, and it's a lot better that way. So let me guys show you. This is the complete timeline for the video. And so, yeah, I know nothing much, right? It's actually very, very simple. So like here's the, text and whatnot and the zoom in features. So we can actually take this frame by frame. So you can kind of see. God damn, look at that son of a bitch go. Motherfucker's fast. So we can take it frame by frame. That's the size of a fucking football field. That is awesome. I fucking love that. That is epic. You can totally make out the H. Yeah, that's awesome. I was waiting for one of these fuckheads to say that it was a fly or something.
Yeah.
Oh sure, a fly that would be way the fuck out of focus because I was set to nearly infinite focus. Jesus Christ, what a bunch of idiots.
Hey, Red, there's a word in the side chat in here that you have been asked to pronounce.
What's that?
Look in the inside chat.
Sky Room. Yes, Sky Room.
Oh no! When we were picking up materials, we ended up in Best Buy, and yeah, Hana picked up that game. Red took it from her and tried to read the title.
And it was Skyroom.
Wow.
Yes, Skyroom.
It's not Skyrim.
Nope, it's Skyroom. Like a room that you can observe the sky through.
Skyrim.
You know, I'm surprised flat earthers haven't jumped on that title by saying you can see the rim of the sky.
Wi-Fi is shit here, but just plugged, so I set up my Ethernet cable. Why are you telling me this? Just fix it and get in here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's see.
Don't make me find you part-time vegan. Don't.
Don't
would
worry.
not like it.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be pissing off a lot more people. So, for example, I'm gonna piss off everybody right now. Oh, R2-D2. I loved him in Star Trek.
I'm not ready for this. Where's my sci-fi?
There you go. Oh, I have more. I have more. Okay, so anyway, so let's see, Skyroom.
Here's the thing, Red. You are nowhere near cute enough to get away with saying stupid shit like that.
So I guess I should just go back to talking about, other stuff. Although I do have that one picture I took of Hana because she does sleep with her gob like wide open, kind of like a Venus flytrap.
that should actually worry you.
I mean, it's like, okay, so this, and she also talks in her sleep. It's scary shit. Okay, it's really scary shit.
Oh, ElfNet.
Yes. So let's see. Oh yeah, and she was also impressed that Shoney's was an actual restaurant. Apparently, it's featured in what's that show, Rick and Morty or something like that?
Yes.
Well, down south it's still called Shoney's, but up north they call it Big Boy.
Big Boy. Yeah. Well, we don't have that shithole restaurant. I mean, we ate there. It was terrible.
It used to be really good, like when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I don't know what they did, but they fucked it up bad.
Yeah, they fucked it up bad. It's like,
cheap.
oh, do you want ketchup for your burger? Yes, I do. 35 minutes later, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. Well, at least
no, ElfNet, you have that wrong. The place to go after bar hopping is Waffle House.
We had the opportunity to go someplace else. I was actually offering to go to Popeyes, but no, everyone said we should totally go there. We should totally go to Shoney's, and it was terrible. That was the most horrible decision ever. And then Pew decided to make it worse by buying Hana a fucking Shoney's stuffed bear.
What? Did I not say that the food was underwhelming?
You did, and I was actually heeding your warning. But the other people that I was traveling with weren't. And my stomach paid for it because it had to actually consume that nonsense. It was horrible. So for those of you watching in the live chat, no. Just fucking no. Okay? Go to Popeyes. Ronnie works there.
Oh God, Eric.
It makes it better because he has to serve you food.
Techatron, I should smack you for that one.
My God. Hana, don't talk to me about naughty shit, That whole spank me, I've been a naughty girl, and then I was like, it's okay, we all make mistakes. Apparently, that was the wrong answer for her.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take from that. I thought it was being nice, but whatever. Women are weird.
No, you're just inexperienced.
Yeah. Very.
Hey, I thought it was being nice.
When a woman says spank me, you bend her over your knee. No questions asked.
Oh my god.
Oh, ouch.
Shots
Nice.
fired.
Shots fired.
No, look at what she said in the chat.
I know, I saw it. I have the live chat on my phone.
Okay.
It was funny. It was funny. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Hana,
so
Hana, that answers a lot of questions.
Hana, it was itching on all sides. Okay, sorry. Hang on. Let me solve a problem right here. Hang on. Boom. Problem solved. And problem solved. There we go. Boom. Okay.
Well, Pew and Kaiser both have been crying about getting in.
Yeah, I know. I'm just purposely ignoring them because I win all the time.
And Rich is desperate for you to see his apology for being stupid. And Neslig is constantly spamming me, telling me to get your attention to look at Imager. Or Imager.
Maybe later.
You know, I'm kind of curious what he wants us to see. So I'm going to go take a look and see if it's actually worthwhile. No.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Okay.
The hell is that?
That is my phone going off. That is Pew calling me, but don't worry. I have a solution for this problem. And off. There we go.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Try to call me again, motherfucker. Ain't gonna work. So with that, I got. Okay, so I am going to screen share.
I haven't seen Pew review in a while. It's been a lot longer than 7 minutes. He's a very bad Dirty LaForge.
Yes. Present to everyone.
That's the wrong font. He needs impact.
Yes, I know. You fail at meme making. Okay, but he sent me another one, so let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance.
I missed that first one, but oh well.
That's okay. The second one is just as terrible. There he goes.
Oh, and Kara, the whole short joke, since you've been quiet since then, is just because I picture you as a short little package of badassery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hana, on the other hand, is just short.
Compared to you and Red, most people are short.
Yes. So you have to give me that. I'm 6'4", Red's pretty much the same height.
And also, Hana's just absolutely catastrophically short. Hang on one second. I'm actually gonna take this call. Hang on. I'm actually gonna just put this on speaker. Thanks for calling Taco Bell. How may I take your order? Yeah,
Don't take phone orders.
What's up? I may take your order.
You know I love you, right?
Yeah.
You know you're the light of my life, right?
Yeah.
For the love of God. Can you let Pew in the fucking hangout so he can stop spamming me? I'm busy.
Well, I would do that, but I need some motivation here. So, there is that booty pic you still owe me.
Is that what?
Yeah. If you could kind of like send that to me, so it's for a science experiment, maybe.
He wants to see if his penis works.
Tell Pew I'll think about it.
Listen. I'll let you stick your dick in the mattress in the spot next to me next time, okay? If you let him in.
Wait a minute. In the spot right next to you.
Actual physical contact is possible, Reds. Take her up on it.
Wow.
Are you saying actual physical contact is actually possible? Like, it's actually possible?
It's possible, but if it touches me, I'm slapping your nutsack.
Okay.
Hard.
It's worth the risk. I'll take it. Okay, tell Pew that I'll send a link shortly.
All right, I'll send you pictures of the thing when it's done. Okay.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Now you're going to share, right? No. I couldn't help it. I had to say it.
Oh, bravo, Sean. Bravo. That right there. That's a keeper right there. That is a keeper. Kaiser Cubes, indirect content is valid these days. Yeah, just like I was talking to my grandfather. Grandpa, come on, it's 2017. We eat ass now. Okay.
Some people do. Some people do.
No,
not all.
Actually,
I have my limits.
No, I'm actually trying to fix an Ethernet cable. My fucking god, dude.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Can't you go to go to a Starbucks and hijack their Wi-Fi?
Now, define fix an Ethernet cable. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
He's trying to fix a fucking Ethernet cable.
Cut and recrimp, but unless you know exactly where the breakage is, you're kind of just taking a guess.
I mean, something tells me it's not the Ethernet cable.
I think it's
operator
the cable.
Error.
I think it's the cable going from his brain to his rest of his body. It just doesn't work.
Operator error. Yep.
Oh, Pew said my timeout is over and fixed.
All right, guys, I'm going to head off. See you.
All right, see ya. Part-time vegan says, I have Wi-Fi, but it cuts in and out. You know what? At this point, we'll take our fucking chances.
I'm just gonna call bullshit.
Can you just like move closer to your Wi-Fi modem and just
move closer to the router? Problem solved.
Or not be a little bitch.
Mm-hmm. LOL breakage. Yes, I know. So let's see. I also need to send this. So let's send this. Okay, invitation posted, and I'm going to. All right, part-time. Can you obviously have enough internet where you can comment? So tell me this much: do you at least see the link that I sent you on G+?
Of course he does. It's that whole thing about he can't point his mouse to click at it.
So let's see.
Nestle, I already let him know about it, so please stop.
And I took a look. It's okay.
Okay, so part-time can't see the link. Just do me a favor. Just for shits and giggles, click it. Just for shits and giggles, click it. Oh, Ness is actually in here now.
Now he can spam you to death.
Hi, Ness. How's it going? Mic check, please. You have to...
Oh, wow.
Nice. Next time, remind me not to do that. Okay.
Well, he joined. He put the link over in the internal chat and left.
Yes. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and screenshot or screen share. So boom, boom, and boom. Okay. Now that is the proper font. Yes, you just won $1 signed by me after it's been in the Peniel area.
Oh, so it's double special.
Double special. All right, perfect. So that is he is the winner, and you all now owe him the thanks.
I'm trying to figure out what the hat was for.
Oh, that's that's too the hat's too complicated to explain. Anyway, so Hannah or Hana. I say Hana, but I guess either one is acceptable. And also he goes, okay, I got it working. Great, part-time. Come on in. Love to talk with you.
It's amazing how you pretty much gave him the ultimatum just to click the fucking link that he gets it fixed right at that moment.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. I thought I heard a voice that I really don't like.
Meow.
All right, legit. Just look at how to spell my name. Hana gets a sad face. Okay, Hana, I already invited Pew. I invited Pew. He can come in here. I did what you said, and that means I get to stick my dick in the mattress next to you, which means physical contact is actually possible this time.
At least with a hit.
While looking at it, while looking her in the eye.
No, that wasn't part of the deal.
And Curtis? Curtis wasn't part of the fucking deal.
I smell goalpole shifting.
Yeah, that wasn't part of the deal.
The deal was for Pew.
The deal was for Pew. If you want Curtis, that costs extra. Make me a deal I can't refuse, and I'll consider it. Okay.
Bent over in front of a mirror.
I am amending the deal. That's not how it works. Anyway, Pew's here.
Wait. For all of us who are or have been married, yes, she will do that.
Continuously.
Continuously.
Ooh, I love not knowing the context of that statement.
There you go.
I have altered the deal.
Yes.
Kind of like how you did in that 20-minute recording I have of you and Hana in the car, right?
When are you actually going to post that? Because I've been waiting.
I have bleeped out when she said our names in frustration and rage. So that's the best part of it done.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
This is glorious.
When am I going to hang on, invite Curtis, and I'll think about taking a peek at your dick.
Ooh.
Oh my fucking god, this is beautiful.
You'll well, wait a minute. I have to know, with or without the required magnifying glass.
Fuck it, I'm sending the link to Curtis on my own. Fuck you guys.
Okay, I've got a question for Anna Level to test his math skills.
Don't you dare, Pew.
Don't I dare?
Don't you dare. Otherwise, I am blowing you out the goddamn airlock. Try me, bitch. You know I'll do it.
Yeah, I do know you'll do it. You've done it before.
Exactly. I've blown you out the goddamn airlock for less, so.
That's true. Although Hana could give him the link.
Without, if it makes you feel comfortable. So is that worth it?
I seriously have a math question for Anna Level just to see how stupid he really is.
Okay, go for it.
Now, this is a question I asked to a lot of my fellow Walmart employees, and only one got it right. Okay. I walk 3 miles to work every morning. And it takes me an hour to walk to work. How fast am I going?
Oh my gosh.
Don't answer. Don't answer. I want Anna Level to answer this. So nobody in chat give the answer either.
If you give the answer in the chat, I am going to basically be banning your ass. So
I was already on it. God damn it.
You know I'll do it, Pew.
I know, which is why you let me in, but you're not letting me have any fun.
See, the deal was that I let you in. The deal wasn't that I would let you have fun.
Okay.
God
You want to take care of Kaiser?
God damn it, Kaiser! And timeout.
You said ban.
Actually, that is true. That is true. That is true.
No, you're gonna ban.
I'll make an exception for him.
It depends on if you're walking east or west. And on the level has no answer. On the level has no answer, so he's gone.
Yep. Okay, so.
Oh, look.
And part-time is here. Thank fuck for that. So.
Not a vegan joint.
Yep. Add Curtis Red. Okay, but you promised that. Okay, but I don't want a quick peek. I mean, I have to have at least a solid 30 seconds. Can I get that guarantee from you, Hana? At least a solid 30 seconds. I'll add a whiff in your general direction. Okay, now it's starting to get hot in here.
Oh, excuse number 4.
Okay, come on.
Side chat, excuse number 4. I'm actually sick, so I won't actually be talking as much as I like. Yeah, so okay.
20 seconds, Hana. 20 seconds. Give me at least 20 seconds.
Oh, you only need 5 anyways.
I'm going to ask for 20. Shut up. 20 seconds, Anna. Give me 20 seconds. Deal. 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 Hang on. Print screen.
So I hear first, folks.
Sold.
Okay,
So
sold. So Curtis. And okay, we're going to type in Curtis Newton.
You guys better talk to part-time vegan quick, because Curtis and I are taking over this hangout.
Well, hang on. Curtis, hang on. I'm adding Curtis Newton and mansplain. Okay, here we go. So
I even know what you stole that from. Fuck you.
You shut the fuck up. Anyway, part-time. Mic check, please, so we can see we can actually hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you just fine. So connection seems to not be an issue. So we'll go ahead and turn this around from being somewhat joking to being somewhat kind of maybe not really serious. So the 2 or actually 3 videos I recently posted, I want to ask your opinion on all of them. So first, have you seen the Falcon 9 landing? Of course you have. I don't know if you've seen the solar eclipse, maybe, and you definitely saw the ISS transit videos. So I want to question you on all 3 of those videos that I posted, because you've been rather active in my comment section. I'm going to give you the choice here. Which one do you want to go over first?
We can start with the satellite.
Which you mean the ISS transit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll work backwards. So we'll go ISS satellite, solar eclipse, and then we'll finish off with the Falcon 9 landing footage I got. So the ISS solar transit, apparently you have some problems with that, where you are wondering, how do we know it's a space station, whatever. I'm going to actually let you list your objections to it so we can go from there.
Well, from what I saw in your video, I couldn't even really tell what it was, but then I looked up Smarter Everyday's video, and it looked a lot more, I saw more clarity in the actual shape, so I don't really have too many issues with that.
Okay, so then do you agree that I caught the International Space Station on my Nikon?
You caught an object up there, and if you want to call it I mean, like, I don't know who's in there. I don't know if it's just a camera. Like, I don't know what it is. So I don't want to say, yeah, there's people inside there, and we have proof that they're inside there. So
I didn't ask to go that far. You know, whether or not you want to agree that the International Space Station is inhabited is really beside the point. I'm asking just for the International Space Station itself, the actual physical object. So did I capture at least the object, inhabited or not, on my camera?
Well, isn't there multiple satellites in orbit?
Yeah, but only one I was actually aiming to find, which was the International Space Station.
I mean, well, just judging from your video, you really can't tell too much from your video. I have to look at another video just to get confirmation. So I really don't know what you caught.
Well, what I caught was the International Space Station. And if I didn't catch it, what else did I catch? Especially since I was using an app dedicated to figuring out when transits of the International Space Station would occur, and it worked out perfectly.
Okay.
So what else could it be? What else could conform to an app that is primarily, or I should say primarily only for the International Space Station?
You know, it's only for the International Space System because
that's what the app is for. It says International Space Station. It doesn't say Hubble. It doesn't say Kepler. It doesn't say any other object in space that we've managed to stick up there. It doesn't say Himawari. It doesn't say GOES. It doesn't say Epic. It doesn't say anything like that. It says International Space Station. That's what the app is for. It tracks the International Space Station orbit. And when I compare it to other apps and other websites that track the International Space Station in real time, they all comport perfectly with my observation on the ground.
Okay.
If I can point out that you actually use this app 4 days before you capture the transit to predict where to be at to catch it, says a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. So when I was in Tennessee, this was actually when I just arrived to Tennessee. But I used that app to figure out where in Florida I needed to be in order to capture this transit. And that was 4 days before I actually did it. So being able to predict this thing 4 days in advance with an International Space Station app, only for it to be repeatedly confirmed with other applications and other websites, and then going out into the field and confirming that, yes, it actually did happen. What else could it be other than the International Space Station, which was the thing I've been tracking for the last 4 days?
Oh, well, I don't really know what else it could be, but I'm pretty sure there's other people that try to track it on the exact same day, or maybe not the exact same day, but they try to track it, and they probably didn't get the results that they wanted. I'm just saying, by your video, there's not much I can tell, but the Smarter Everyday video was pretty concrete. So I'm just, by your video, I don't know what you caught. I have no idea.
Okay, well then...
He predicted it 4 days in advance. He went to the location where the transit would actually happen, and it happened down to the second. Yeah. And you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
really, you go with that?
Like there's multiple things too, like the angle at which it crossed the sun, the speed at which it crossed the sun. For this to be some kind of coincidence, like a fly flying in front of his camera at the exact moment that the ISS would, in the exact same direction, angle, speed, it's just completely unlikely. Like, you're at the realm of impossible.
Yeah, you're at the realm of reasonable inference, where you could count down, you could predict everything. Sure, the camera quality is a little bit shitty, but for all the plan that he did, it's a reasonable, like, you can infer from the information that
even if it was a black
pixel,
and that's all we had.
Are you saying that it was an abductive inference to the Beck's explanation?
Exactly.
And also, I want to point out that no other satellite would actually be that fucking massive. If you were to do the math, you would come out to something like that satellite would have to be the size of an American football field. And no other satellite is that fucking massive. And
you know this how?
Because no other satellites are that massive.
You know this how? I mean, do you think that there are things that the government doesn't tell you?
Okay. Hang on. Everyone shut up. Please point to a fairing that is big enough to house a football field-sized satellite.
Why? Like, what's that gonna?
Because if you can't, then what the fuck else could it be? Every single satellite that has ever been launched into orbit has to fit within a fairing. Because the atmosphere kind of is a bitch when you're trying to punch through it at like Mach 5.
To give you an idea, if you try to shoot up something the size of a space station in a single rocket, someone's going to notice a rocket that's about the size of the Empire State Building, if not larger.
If not larger, exactly. I would actually go to, what was it called? The Dragonfish, like the largest rocket ever designed. And that would have to be launched at sea because of how fucking massive it would be. But you're talking about a satellite that is fucking massive, and the angular size of which matches the observation that I made, which would confirm its size, also confirm its speed, and also confirm the angle at which I was looking at.
What's it going?
17,500, or as I would like to say, 4.7 miles per second. And then you see this thing cross in front of the sun as predicted down to the second. And I didn't go to some place fancy. I didn't go to some space station. I was in the parking lot of a fucking Publix.
When you say 17,000, is that
17,500?
Is that like in reference to the Earth's rotation?
No, that's reference. That's in reference to a stationary point.
Okay, I have to look into that. But yeah,
the math works. You do say that a lot. In all fairness,
I mean, anyway, that's what I do. I look into things. I do experiments of my own. So
okay, what did you conclude from your shadow experiment?
Well, it was actually looking at the solar flares. I mean, not solar flares, but solar filters. And
what's that got to do with looking at shadows?
Well, that was the first experiment. We were talking about the experiments I've done. Yeah, it was looking through solar filters. And as far as the shadow is concerned, like the penumbra and umbra, yeah, that works.
Still want to know where the filters come in.
Oh, well, the filters come in because you were saying that the sun doesn't change shape.
Size.
Our size. My bad. Yeah.
And
size.
You came up with?
from the naked eye, it doesn't look like.
Don't tell me you actually were looking directly at the sun.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stop you right there because
whoa,
no. Naked eye does not give accurate measurements.
No. I'm talking about like some people like they put a solar filter on the camera, and I'm talking about like I use my eye with the solar filter, and I did the marks and everything. But some people actually like zoom in with their camera to get a better look at the sun with the solar filter. That's what I meant by naked eye.
Yeah, that's what I did from noon until sunset with the same level of zoom, which is the maximum zoom of my camera. The sun remained the same size from noon to sunset.
Well, at the same time, there's other people I've seen that
are not using filters through thick atmospheres where it actually becomes a filter in itself, taking out the glare as it gets closer to the horizon. Every single flat Earth video you see about the sun changing size is taken without a filter at all.
Yeah.
No. I saw one. It was on an episode of Globebusters. These guys took a.
Of course, it was. How about this? Do you have a link to this and a time code, and we'll watch it together? I hate to give these fucking liars any attention, but I will for the sake of argument. Let's provide me with a link. Let's see them show the angular size of the sun changing, and then we'll laugh at it together.
And if you're talking about that desert shot, you do know that was actually CGI'd, right?
No, I'm not talking about that shot.
I'm just saying because that's like the most popular one that flat earthers use, and it's actually admitted to be CGI by the guy that created it. He actually left comments on several videos saying, that's mine.
Yeah, thanks for not crediting me for my work, shitheads. And also, let me show you this picture. One more thing that confirms that this is the International Space Station is that the International Space Station has a distinct H pattern. Now, while my images are not as good as Smarter Every Days, because let's face it, I don't have enough fucking money for the most awesome equipment money can possibly buy, I still caught a distinctive H pattern as it was passing through the sun or passing in front of the sun. So if I caught the H pattern and a characteristic of the International Space Station is an H pattern, then I am safe to conclude that, yes, this was the International Space Station. It matched the prediction of the International Space Station. And I will bet you that, weather permitting, of course, if I use the app again, along with the other websites that comport with the app, I'll be able to make this observation again. And maybe this time I'll switch it up and do a transit in front of a full moon or some shit like that.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds like it's the space station, right?
It's only one object in one orbit. Like, it can only be in one place at one time, and anyone with enough aptitude and understanding of geometry could calculate its exact position at any time.
Mm-hmm. Astronomy Live is just such a person that does that.
Exactly. So it's like, what else would it be? Regardless, it's a satellite in orbit. Period.
I do have to put in a fairness caveat there, because every time they send up a Dragon to resupply, they also use the Dragon to boost its orbit. So it does change mathematically.
It changes, but as long as you have current orbital data, you can predict its exact position.
It just depends on how old the data you're using is.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But it's one object in orbit.
Yep.
Only in one spot.
Yep.
So when you guys say orbit, because there's a semantic issue in my comments.
Oh yeah, there is.
Damn straight there is.
Do you know what an orbit is? What's your definition of an orbit?
Yeah, I know what an orbit is, but
define it. That's what we asked.
When an object orbits another object, like around the object.
Can't use the word to describe the word.
You're using the word in the definition.
Okay, when an object goes around another object.
In an ellipse?
In
a circle?
I don't think it necessarily has to be a circle.
So an ellipse would apply.
I mean, I don't think it has to be a circle to necessarily orbit. You know, it might just have some funky pattern that is going around another object. So.
Okay, well, we model it with an ellipse, and that's how we predict its exact position at any time. And
yeah, when I was talking about orbit, I was.
It's an ellipse.
Yeah, when I was talking about orbit, I would just mean, I guess, floating within the plane of the flat Earth.
Oh, okay. There's two definitions.
Circling above is more what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not an orbit.
Don't ban Hillel.
I'm going to give the two definitions of orbit that you just totally danced around. One, and they're both nouns. The curved path of a celestial object or spacecraft around a star, planet, moon, especially a periodic elliptical revolution. Two, a sphere of activity, interest, or application. It also has one for a verb, which also deals with celestial objects or spacecrafts moving in an orbit around a star, planet, or moon.
Yeah.
It's a circular path with the center object always in the center. On a flat Earth, an orbit cannot be defined.
Yeah.
So how do you guys know that this whatever object satellite is orbiting and not circling?
International Space Station.
Do you know what geometry is? Because that's all it is. It's three-dimensional geometry.
Yeah. And the reason why we know is because we can model it and predict it to extreme accuracy, to the point where I can travel to Florida 4 fucking days after looking up the damn thing and see the transit for myself.
That doesn't distinguish orbiting and circling.
Can I ask you, can you picture an orbit around a planet just in your mind's eye? Just you see a planet there and you see an object going in a circle around the planet, right? This is intuitive. I'm sure you're picturing it. That's what we use to predict its position.
Yep. And in response to what you said previously, actually, yes, it does mean exactly what I said it means. Because yes, it does actually. Because if I'm using that for prediction, and the prediction is correct down to the second, what does that tell you?
Well, how do you even know like what they're using? It's like
hang on, before you ask me a question, I would like an answer to mine.
Well, your question basically presumes the Earth is round.
No, let me ask it again. If I use that model and the geometry with it to predict where the International Space Station is going to be 4 days in advance in reference to the sun and my location on Earth, and I go there and I do the observation and it's correct down to the second, what does that tell you?
That you used the model and it worked.
There you go.
There you go. That I used the model and it worked.
You can use multiple models to explain the same
No,
thing.
you can't.
No, you
There's
can't.
not a single other model.
Yes, you can.
There is.
not.
Yes. Okay. Listen. No. I want to talk.
Admittedly,
I've been listening to y'all for a long time. It's my turn to talk. All right. So imagine we have a light, and everything else is dark. Okay. And we see the light move. You can make two conclusions. You can either say the light is moving or I am moving.
Can I ask?
No.
How is it
I'm still talking. Oh my God.
Or both are moving.
Yeah. Okay. Or both are moving. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You can make 3 different models just based off of one observation. So just because you guys are saying, oh, well, we're using this model to explain this, that doesn't mean there's not another model that works.
Well, that's actually what I want to ask you, part-time. Every flat earther says, we know we have no model. How can they make any predictions if they admit they have no model?
We're not talking about predictions here. We're saying that your prediction that you're making with the globe model doesn't prove the globe.
That's what we're talking about predictions, but let's talk about predictions. Do you not hear the contradiction in your own statement?
All right, no, just explain it.
You just said we're not talking about predictions and then followed it immediately by talking about predictions.
We're not talking about predictions. We're saying, okay, let me articulate.
We are talking about predictions.
Yes, that is what we're talking about. We're actually talking about predictions.
Just because you can use a globe model to predict something doesn't mean the Earth is a globe.
Then show us a flat Earth model that will predict anything.
And that's what y'all want. You guys want all the answers, but we're working to try to get the answers. And I admit we don't have all the answers, but that doesn't mean the Earth is a globe.
Wait.
Well,
no, none of the answers your model has. None.
There is no model. They've admitted there is no model. They can't make any answers if they have no model.
And they're not even trying to make a model. Let's be
We
honest.
we are trying to make a model.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
No, we are trying to make a model.
Show us your best one so far. Let's see it.
Part-time. I've been dealing with this for 2.5 years. They had a model that was debunked. And ever since then, it has always been, oh, we don't know what the model is. We don't have a working model, but we know the answers. They can't have answers if they have no model.
Well, you have to realize that maybe things aren't what they seem. For example, when if you look at the flat Earth explanation for the eclipse, there's been people...
I gotta hear this. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's move on to the eclipse now.
There's been people talking about how the sun might be in a whole nother dimension. Like, I think it's the 5th or 4th dimension.
Did we already go down the path of woo?
Yes.
No. Okay. So you know how, like, you guys seen Carl Sagan when he was explaining how, like, a 2D, how 3 dimensions look for a 2-dimensional character. Have y'all seen that?
I have not,
okay.
Maybe.
Let me into this real quick, because if we're talking about dimensions we have no access to and cannot perceive, we cannot make predictions on another higher dimension. We cannot, because it cannot be modeled.
So I have a request, part-time.
Yeah.
If we can keep this above the level of spirit science, that would be fan-fucking-tastic.
Well, okay. See,
here's the thing, part-time. This prediction that just happened was predicted like 700 years ago. It wasn't predicted by NASA this year. It's been on paper for 700 years.
Okay, what does that? What's your point?
We can't predict anything in a dimension we have no access to. We, on the spherical model, it's been predicted for 700 years, and it worked down to the second.
Down to the second.
I tell you, the globe model works for predictions. Nothing else has.
Well, and notice that prediction was made prior to the date that the majority of flat-tards want to say that the standard spheroidal model has been in use of 500 years. The predictions predate it by no less than 200 years. So what does that tell you about the accuracy of the information that they are putting out?
Just because your model explains reality doesn't mean your model pertains to reality.
No. Answer the fucking question.
Why are you screaming?
Because you're avoiding the question.
No, you guys are getting triggered of a small question.
Answer the fucking question.
We answer your questions. You don't answer any.
Well, half the time when I try to talk, you guys just jump in and intervene.
All right, I'm gonna do this for you then. I'm actually gonna become a bit of a moderator. I'm gonna ask Jared to repeat the question. I'm gonna ask you to answer the question, and while you're answering, I'm gonna ask everyone to shut the fuck up. And if anyone interrupts you, I'm booting them. So Jared, please repeat the question.
So the eclipse we just experienced was predicted no less than 700 years ago. The talking heads in flat earth land like to say that the spheroidal model has been accepted and in use for 500 years. Why do you accept information from people who willfully use the wrong information?
So you're saying that the eclipse was predicted 700 years ago, but the round Earth wasn't in play until 500 years ago.
Jared,
according to flat-tards, they say that we have been working on the global spheroidal model for 500 years.
Okay.
However, a prediction that is actually only possible on the understood standard model was made 700 years ago. Why would you trust information from a source that shows that level of intellectual dishonesty?
So you're saying that the round Earth was actually predicted way before 500
couple thousand years.
Couple thousand. Really?
Yes.
It's been measured for
Do you have a source? I will look into that.
You know, every time I hear you say that, what actually rings in my head is "fuck you." I'm not going to do shit. Because every time you have said that, you have never come back and said, "Oh, by the way, I looked into this and I found this," which counter.
Well, Jared, I got to correct you on that. I do got to correct you on that and stick up for part-time. He did correct himself on the shadows issue. He did correct himself on another issue. I don't remember what it was, but he's done some things that do not comply with what you're saying.
Okay, but
it's a drop in the bucket.
Drop in the bucket, and this whole information about the 2,000 years ago, and oh, by the way, a guy by the name of Aristosthenes has been told to you multiple times. How do you keep forgetting this? Is it willful, or do you need medication?
I mean, what was the date? The exact date of Aristosthenes? I'm not familiar with the exact date, but I thought that was around.
Does the date even matter? In all honesty,
yes, because we're talking about 500 years and 700 years and all that. So yes, the date is relevant.
Okay. How about I just simplify it to a long ass time ago and go with that? This was a long ass time ago, and this guy was actually able to go out and measure the curvature of the Earth and confirm for a fact that it is in fact round. Something that we have actually held on to and continues to be true to this day, mind you. So much so that we're using it to make accurate predictions thousands of years in the future at this point because of the precision of the model.
I'll actually give his answer. Aristosthenes was born in 276 BC, died in 194 BC. So over 2,000 years since we've accepted the globe model. Right off the bat, flat earthers are full of shit.
And keep in mind, like, every person who's sailed in all of human history who hasn't gotten lost and used the stars as navigation essentially knew the Earth was a sphere. You get lost if you think it's any other shape.
Yeah.
I still get lost.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Well, case in point.
Very true.
But with the round Earth, it's like it not only has accurate predictive capabilities when it comes to where the International Space Station is going to be relative to the sun. It also has predictive capabilities when it comes to navigation at sea. And in fact, a lot of people have been doing this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So when a model has such predictive power that it literally explains everything, what can you reasonably take away from that?
No. I wouldn't say it explains everything.
What does it fail to explain? One thing. What does it not explain?
I'm going to do this, so I give you a perfect opportunity to hammer this up my own ass. It explains everything. Now please hammer it up my ass. This is a red carpet moment here. Show me how I'm an idiot.
So first of all, I don't think it explains gravity.
Okay, let's do a bit of a thing. Let's have a sphere. Let's take away gravity. Has it stopped being a sphere?
No, they said that the sphere formed because of gravity. So you can't.
Okay, how the sphere formed is irrelevant to the fact that it's still a fucking sphere at the end of the day.
Do you realize that the whole model is predicated on gravity? So
I'm talking about the shape. I'm talking about geometry. I'm talking about geometry at this point.
Okay, so it's a sphere.
Is geometry predicated on gravity? If you say yes, Jesus fucking Christ.
No.
Okay. Can we stick with geometry then?
All right, yeah, let's stick with geometry.
Okay, sticking with geometry then, answer my previous question.
What was your question? Something about a sphere?
Someone please take over.
Okay. We can measure the Earth. We can make predictions. We can make predictions of observations that we'll see based on that geometry. Like, for example, every flat earther likes to say, horizon rises to eye level. This is provably false. You can measure the drop to the horizon by using, you can use a theodolite app. You can actually get a theodolite and measure it. You could, there's somebody who's sending up a balloon with a flat bar and cameras pointing in two directions. So if the cameras, if the horizon drops below for both cameras, then it is effectively below eye level. These types of things are things that we can observe, test and measure, and predict.
Someone needs to kill the music.
Whoever has like the old grainy record type music in the background, please shut that shit off or mute. That would be nice.
But that's all it is. It's geometry. We can measure the shape of the Earth. We can observe the shape of the Earth. We can predict the positions of stars simply based on the geometry of a sphere and a celestial sphere around us. Like, stars are so far away, we can just like approximate them to be a sphere away. But when we look more closely, we can actually see that they shift over the course of a year just from parallax as we move around the sun. Like, all of the geometry works. It simply works. That's how we predict the positions of the planets. I mean, you're trying to say that flat Earth is some kind of, okay, the Earth is flat, but the sun exists on some higher dimension that we're looking into and somehow seeing it in the exact position that it looks like we're on a sphere, but we're not actually on a sphere. That's what you're trying to do, to dodge this.
No, not really, because you're saying...
It really is. Like, you're trying to invent other models, trying to invent new realms of reality to try and say that... Try and justify the idea that other models can work, and they don't.
You're putting
no
words
other
in my
models
mouth.
work.
You're putting words in my mouth.
By applying geometry. No other model works by simply applying 3D geometry. How we observe the world. The world around us is three-dimensional. When we use three-dimensional geometry, it explains everything when Earth is a sphere.
Okay, awesome. So I have 2 points here. Modern physicists will tell you that other dimensions do exist. Okay, if you want to disagree with that,
not
then...
spatial dimensions.
No, spatial dimensions. No, dead serious.
Obviously, in the mathematics realm, yes, not in reality. You just use these dimensions in reality.
You just said spatial. You just contradicted yourself there. But anyways.
No, I didn't.
And anyways, just because, like I said,
in reality, there's 3 spatial dimensions and 1 temporal dimension. That's it. There's no 5th dimension or 6th dimension. Only in the realm of mathematics. Okay. Mathematics isn't. All right. Mathematics can describe reality, but it doesn't. Like, you can create a universe with mathematics that's entirely made of fractals. It doesn't mean that the universe is made of fractals.
Can I talk now?
Go nuts.
You can try. Good luck.
So basically your argument is, and all y'all's argument is, for the most part, as I understand it, is the round Earth explains reality. But like I said, just because something explains reality does not mean it pertains to reality. So
yes, we could all be in a computer that's simply a simulation that's not real. Sure. But it's unlikely.
How's it unlikely? How do you know this?
Also, because geometry works whether we're inside the computer or outside of it.
And
hang on, let me ask you an honest question.
Yeah. What's up?
If I was in a computer simulation,
yeah,
and I was holding a sphere in my hand, am I holding a sphere in my hand inside the computer simulation?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say I'm not in a computer simulation and I'm holding a sphere in my hand. Am I holding a sphere in my hand? I'm waiting.
Is he? If it's reality, he's holding a sphere in his hand. Is he holding a sphere?
Well, to your hypothetical situation, yeah.
Okay, so basically whether we're inside the computer simulation or we're outside the computer simulation, I'm holding a fucking sphere, right?
I like how he jumped on that, by the way. As soon as I said computer simulation, he's like, oh, well, how do you know it's not a computer simulation?
Yeah,
well, the thing is,
I still want...
in philosophy, we can't actually know. It's impossible. We cannot know something that's outside the realm of our own universe. But what we do know is the universe is three-dimensional in space. And we can predict everything about it in terms of the motion of celestial bodies using 3 dimensions and a temporal dimension. That's how we do it. It's a model that works, and it's the most simple model that we have.
And getting back to it part-time, I still want an answer. So we agree that whether I'm in the computer simulation or I'm not in a computer simulation, I'm holding a fucking sphere in my hand, right? Correct or incorrect?
Based on your hypothetical situation, yes.
Okay. could I measure that sphere, whether I'm in the computer simulation or outside of it? Again, I'm holding in my hand. Now let's say in the other hand, I'm holding a ruler or a compass or whatever. And could I start doing some measurements with that, correct?
Based on your hypothetical situation, yes.
Okay, so if I'm now not holding a sphere, but am standing on a sphere, whether I'm inside the computer simulation or not, I'm still standing on a fucking sphere, right? And so by the same token, I should be able to measure that sphere using the same tools and equipment that we just agreed that I had, whether I'm inside the computer simulation or not. Correct?
Based on your hypothetical situation, yes.
All right, good. So based on that, I have to ask you, why the fuck does it matter if I'm in a computer simulation or not? Being that my argument still applies whether you're in either one.
I didn't even raise the argument of computer simulation.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is leave the fucking spirit science woo bullshit at home. We have no time for it. That's what I'm trying to say here. So moving back to actual fucking geometry now.
So what if spirit science is reality? You just like what if that's what reality is?
Spirit science believes in chakras and shit that has been shown to not work in reality. Oh, if you do this and sit in this certain way, you'll have an orgasm.
Now, if he's going to sit there and say that spirit science is correct, he's also accepting space because we have space Jews.
Yes, we have space Jews and Nibiru.
Well, it kind of sounds that like you're just dismissing it just because you can't.
No.
Because it's wrong.
There's no evidence for it at all. Sorry, Red, but there's just no evidence for it. Why would we accept something that has no evidence?
This is true.
So there's no evidence for anything spirit science says.
Correct.
No. Correct.
Yep.
I think
I mean,
nothing that is unique to spirit science is correct.
I would agree in some sense that spirit, like the claims they make, is a bit like far fetched, but I wouldn't say everything they say has no evidence.
Let me sum this up in a nutshell. Spirit science says that the sun is the father, the earth is the mother, and the moon is the cousin.
I'd fuck that cousin.
Because all celestial bodies have a gender, and cousin apparently to spirit science is a gender. So that explains spirit science to you. Anything that he says is just total bunk.
Well, okay, I think he's speaking from a metaphoric.
Metaphorically speaking, cousin is a gender.
I'd metaphorically
entirely useless information to start with. Entirely useless. Why assign genders to celestial bodies?
Okay, I'm bringing this back. This before this shit show gets way too far down the rabbit hole on this bullshit, I'm just going to bring it back to geometry. I'm sorry, but no, absolutely not. Fuck spirit science. Okay, so going back to geometry though, my previous question, which you conveniently forgot about, which caused me to face desk, was that we use the mathematics based on a spheroidal planet to make accurate predictions. And I pointed you to the fact that it predicts everything. Also point to the fact that you failed to mention one thing it fails to predict accurately.
Well, when it does predict something wrong, you guys just make up an excuse. I'm just saying.
What is it predicted wrong?
Okay. For example, when we talk about like, okay, so basically you can see like far objects hundreds of miles away. Oh, it's refraction. You know what I'm saying? Now you start reinterpreting reality.
That's part of the model.
No.
If we had no atmosphere, there would be no refraction. It would be a moon issue.
You can measure this stuff.
Okay, hang on. Part-time, let me ask you a very, very fucking honest question here. Are you saying in our model of the planet, we do not include an atmosphere in that model?
So, from my understanding, you only see refraction if you're out.
Just answer the question.
I'm trying to. To my understanding of refraction, you only notice refraction when you're outside the medium.
No.
Hang on. Going back to it because I still didn't get an answer here. So I'm going to repeat one more time. Are you telling me that in our model of the globe, we do not include an atmosphere?
I never said that.
Actually, I think you did.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
you said that we didn't account for refraction, and since refraction is part of the model, yes, we do.
Oh my god.
Atmosphere causes refraction, period. And you're going with the thrive and survive, saying that it has to change mediums. It just has to change densities. Every density layer is its own medium.
So getting back to it, I should tell you this, that yes, the atmosphere is actually part of the globe model and our total scientific understanding about this fucking planet. Atmosphere is actually part of it. In fact, wasn't there, Sean Hufford, refresh my memory, wasn't there a few satellites launched into orbit dedicated to observing atmospheric fluctuations?
Why, yes, there is.
Well, yes, there is. And I also know that there's one slated in the future to be launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida, that I will be going to go see and dedicating. Man, fuck it. I might as well just dedicate a part-time vegan just for the sheer irony of it.
Don't take yourself that low, Red.
Okay. So yes, atmosphere is actually part of our model. And so if the atmosphere explains something, then that doesn't debunk us. That doesn't say that our model is bullshit if it's part of the model to begin with.
If I may actually...
Atmospheric refraction does happen. We know why it happens. The mathematics behind it are pretty complicated, but as I shown in Juranism Flat Wrong Part 3, using basic mathematics, you showed that actually comports perfectly with the round Earth model, which means I ask you again, good sir, what has the round Earth model failed to predict? And there's your answer.
See, this is the point we need like a cricket soundboard.
I wish.
So, if I may, let me just show how far just 3D geometry takes us. Here is a 3D model of transmission lines across an Earth with the radius of 339 or 3,959 miles. So it's the same. It's a scale model of the Earth. This is the geometry of these power lines going over the at 0.18 miles apart. Here's a picture of it. Same thing. Model.
You can get the same. You can get the same effect if they were going down a curved path, or not a curved path, but down a circular path.
No, you couldn't.
No, yes, you could. I've seen somebody. I know I've seen somebody.
He's thinking about Dr. Zach.
Yeah, he's thinking about Dr. Zach.
You're doing it wrong.
See, this is what I get every time. The difference between flat earthers.
Bullshit.
No,
because you're wrong every time.
No. Oh my god.
Okay, let me just explain this to you. One, Dr. Zach used the wrong transmission lines. Those are actually curved.
Sean. I understand that Pew is a fucking idiot, but his name is part-time.
I'm going to. Oh, sorry, Pew. Yeah, drink some more bleach. Now, if it was because the lines were curved to the left or the right, it would not show the same thing from both sides.
I can model this if you like. Like, I can do all these models. The thing is the flat Earth, like, if you model this as flat, do you know what you get?
Wait, hold on, Sean. You said it won't show the same on both sides?
If that curvature is caused by the lines curving to the left or right, it would not show the same curvature on both sides.
So there's a picture that shows it from both sides?
There's videos.
There's hundreds.
Soundly has been really worryingly obsessed with this shit. So yes, there is.
Here's the flat model prediction.
If Dr. Zach, hang on, I'll give you his entire fucking channel. There's a shitload of videos. If Dr. Zach would simply get his head out of his ass and be intellectually honest for 5 fucking minutes, he would have realized that.
Flat model, curved model. This is what we'd see on a flat Earth. Perfectly straight lines. This is what we see. See, and now if you want to account for refraction, look at the end transmission lines. These are going through the most atmosphere, right? Look at how much they're not out of place. Like, these are way down here without any atmosphere. I modeled it without atmosphere. Here's with atmosphere. You see how much it moved? That's the atmosphere. That's what's doing that. We can make these calculations. We can measure the refraction of air and apply that refraction measurement to this and make this kind of prediction. We could actually, and if you look at geodetic surveyors do, they actually are capable of predicting the shape of what we would actually see quite accurately because they understand the atmosphere near the horizon. So they start with this, with the three-dimensional geometry. They apply their refraction corrections, and they would get something like this. And they would actually be able to plot out and measure and tell you the exact curvature of the Earth just by looking at these transmission lines.
All right, tell you what. If somebody can just give me that link real quick, because that if what you said is true, that needs to be explained immediately. So, if y'all have a link,
I can promise you already, a flat earther will never explain this to you accurately, not with any kind of repeatable experiment.
I don't just regurgitate what flat earthers tell me. I actually looking into my.
That's what you've been doing.
Yeah. So.
You pretty much repeated exactly the type of shit that Dr. Zach was doing, and there's
a link in the side chat to Soundly's channel. He's got several hundred videos of these power lines from both sides.
All right, I'm about to check that out right now. That's actually important.
Including all sorts of information as to where he is, what direction he's looking. You can even see birds' nests and pick out like these bird nests and other pictures taken from Google Earth. You can cross-confirm this to the insanity if you want.
And I'll save you some time. One flat earther has actually tried to debunk Soundly, and his best explanation was electrolysis from the power lines going into the water, making the atmosphere do funny things.
And then he claimed CGI later on.
Then he claimed CGI, of course. And so, I challenge you, part-time, repeat the little, clothesline, clips that Dr. Zach had moving in a curve. And I want you to replicate that. And then I want you to do something he didn't. Move the camera to the other side and see what happens. I guarantee you, you're gonna see something that will shock you. Something that doesn't match what Soundly shows on his channel. It doesn't show a curve. And not only that, as the lines were moving, you did not see that definitive curve at the very beginning of it or towards the middle. You only saw a turn. You only saw a turn, not a curve. A turn is not a curve. No matter how dishonest you want to be, you have to be intellectually honest, at least to that extent.
All right, I'm about to go check this out now. I'll catch up with you guys later. I don't even know when Redshift is anymore. You said it was on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but apparently
my schedule has screwed me. That's not of my choosing. It's completely outside of my control. But before you go, we were supposed to talk about the eclipse, or are you just going to leave right now?
Yeah, the eclipse.
Okay, I guess we can spend a few minutes on the eclipse.
Yeah. So, I've heard a few flat earthers say that that the eclipse somehow proves a flat earth or doesn't confirm a globe or whatever the case may be, even though we predicted this shit for hundreds of years. What are your opinions on it?
So have you seen Mike's video?
Mike,
yes, we actually covered it last night, and yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Because he's so full of shit.
Because it was absolutely hilarious.
Let me say the funniest thing in that video was when he says, "We're in totality," but he has shadows of trees around him, which shows he was not in totality. He was just saying shit to say words.
Yes. So
now he may have been trying to say he was in the path of totality.
With as much as he was cheering, he was looking up at the sky. We're in totality. No.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
Yeah, he was playing it off like he was actually in totality.
Let's give him. Okay, let me just ask you this. Part-time, what did you take away from his video? Mike's, whoever this Mike dude is.
He was basically advocating that the sun causes its own eclipse.
Okay. What if I showed you a picture that shows that to be complete horseshit?
If it's horseshit, it's horseshit.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and show you this picture. This is only half of one, but I went ahead and did this. So screen share and boom. And present to everybody. Sean, do you want to explain this?
That would be the light coming from the sun, bouncing off of the Earth, hitting the moon, and then coming back to the Earth.
because that is the moon in front of the sun during the eclipse.
I'm actually seeing here, what's this called? The Sea of Tranquility?
Yes. Or
Okay.
is Tranquility on the other side?
Or Tranquility on the other side.
Wait, hold on. So you said that's the sun.
No, the sun is behind the moon.
The sun is
the corona.
This is the corona. This is the effect of what is known as Earth shine, shining on the moon. We could actually see lunar features during the eclipse if you have equipment that's sensitive enough. And guess what? Sean Hufford has taken upon himself to invite a group of amazing people to the same location. And these people were awesome to hang out with, by the way. And Sean deserves a bunch of credit for that. Thank you. But since we all came together with epic fucking equipment, one of them was actually able to capture Earthshine on the moon. And if the moon was not there and the sun was causing its own eclipse somehow, we would not be able to see Earthshine on a moon that simply is not there, would we?
That's interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Who took these pictures? You guys took these pictures?
Yes, we took these pictures.
We took these pictures.
Specifically, I'm a Rock Man was the one manning the camera that got this picture.
Yes. We were all
and we've got dozens of these, and we can do the same procedure of raising the light levels, and all of them show Earthshine on the moon.
Correct. So tell me, if we caught Earthshine on a moon during the eclipse, that would mean the moon was actually there, huh?
No, I agree with that. Can you progress through those pictures for me? Is that the only one you have?
Oh, no, we've got dozens.
We got dozens. Although this was the only one I feel obligated to share. But Sean, if you have dozens, please, by all means, share them.
Well, I'm actually going to figure out how I can do this in real time so we can actually see me raising the brightness levels.
All right, sounds good. Then
and I'm going to be doing this with the Windows 10 default editor, so it's not going to be as good as quality as Soundly's other program that he used to actually raise the levels evenly. Let's see here. Go to my Explorer.
Yep. So Earthshine basically completely debunked whoever this Mike dude was. And now let me tell you this. If, hypothetically speaking, we did capture this, which of course we fucking did, and we showed you all this evidence, are you willing to say right here, right now, that whoever this Mike dude is, that he was full of shit?
That would, if these pictures are true, that would basically debunk the idea that the moon wasn't there. If that's what
okay. So you would say he's full of shit. You would just say it in a much nicer way than I would be obligated to.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't like to be a jerk. I like to be nice.
Well, maybe I am an asshole. Sean, I am going to present you to everyone in 3, 2, 1. Floor is yours.
Okay, so I've got 11 pictures that I've pulled from our shared drive. Which one would you like to check?
You pick part-time.
Okay, so Red had shown me are these pictures of the moon, or are these pictures of
the eclipse?
These are pictures of the totality during the eclipse.
All right,
which one of these would you like to see?
Can you like progress through them, like go one picture at a time, so I can look at each picture?
We can do multiple, and I'm just going to choose for it because I'm tired of wasting time. 3660.
3660. Right there. All right, you still seeing it?
Yep, I'm still seeing it.
All right, I see it.
Where's my damn edit button? There it is. Okay, we'll go to edit.
Shitty Windows 10.
Yeah, it's shitty Windows 10. So this is not the greatest program to use. I'll raise the brightness. You still can't see anything, so I'll save the copy.
Right.
Imagine if they shot Raha.
I will edit the new load. Raise the brightness. Oh, you're starting to see a little bit of detail. Let's save the copy. We'll edit the new copy. Adjust it. Raise the light levels. We have surface features on the moon. Mike can go fuck himself.
Yes. God damn, that's badass. I love that.
Would you like to try another picture? We can do this all day. Every single one of these shows the exact same thing.
That is bad fucking ass.
And weren't those saved out as JPEGs or are those RAW files?
What program are you using again?
Just the built-in Windows 10 editor.
Wow. Okay.
And the thing is that I'm looking at the little pop-up screen on my toolbar, if you were to shrink the image down to like the size of an icon, the surface features of the moon become even more visible, which is really fucking awesome. I love that.
See if I can figure out how to shrink this in Windows 10.
And I don't even bother. It shows it, and it's good enough.
But
So,
are you getting the point here that Mike is full of shit?
we're seeing lunar features, aka Mike is full of shit. Correct?
I mean, I'll try to do this one more time, but I think it's
No.
just
That's enough. I've seen enough. That's pretty convincing. I'm gonna have to look into this. Like that's pretty convincing.
What's to look into?
What-
We
what
just
are-
showed you.
The only thing you should look into is that there's hundreds of these photos. In fact, there's thousands of people that have got far better cameras and sensors.
If you can find any high-res images anywhere on the internet of a total eclipse, you can do the same thing, and odds are you are going to see moon features once you raise the brightness up to a certain point.
Yeah, you could do this. Go watch an eclipse and do this, please.
It's gonna be in 7 years.
Well, plenty of time to prepare. Get a good camera, get a good lens. You're set to go. You can get an amazing picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something here. I'm going to click onto my Nikon P900 footage. I wonder if my camera actually filmed, or if my sensors are sensitive enough to actually capture it. But I will go ahead and look into it. And hang on one second. Let me bring up just the raw files. I'm gonna screen share my own little video right here, and we'll go from there. So hang on one second. Let me just load up everything. Okay, so these are never before seen videos. So here we go. Boom, boom, screen share and present to everyone. All right, can you guys see my editor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the audio because we don't actually need that. So group, remove from, and delete. All right, cool. So let me skip through this to point where the filter comes off. There it is. Perfect. All right, so wait for a still. That's a still right there. So what I'll do is we'll do brightness and contrast. Let me just run a default. Okay, so let's turn up the brightness like a lot, and let's turn up the contrast. Oh shit, I even caught surface features. Tell him to check his G Plus like a normal individual, and he'll see a link that's been waiting for him for like 35 minutes. He can jump in. I sent it to him. By the time you finish reading this, I stole your virginity. Yeah, my footage or my sensor is not as sensitive as it could be on pictures, but it's extremely difficult to tell. I would not put this up to the same quality of evidence that Sean Hufford is now sharing, but even on my camera, when it was taking video, I could see surface features.
So my question is, like, could you see surface features like when it was like, let's say 30 minutes from totality?
No,
not even close.
No, because you're getting.
Why is that?
Because you are getting washed out by the sun.
The sun is really fucking bright, by the way. Did you know this?
Well, I look at it this way: if the sun is so bright that it can basically shine over the moon, then how is it when the moon comes in front of it, you can't see the sun anymore? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Wait a minute, I have to ask you to repeat that. Shine over the moon?
I mean, that's kind of what it's doing, because when I look at I try to model this.
No, hold on. When you're looking at the corona, you're not looking at the sun. You're looking at the atmosphere of the sun, which is actually quite a bit larger than the sun. The corona itself isn't self-illuminating. It's just being lit by the sun that you can't see anymore because the moon's in the way.
It's like the atmosphere of the sun. Like, it's not the actual surface of the sun. It's just the atmosphere.
Okay, let's say I have a lamp, right? And then I put my fist in front of my face. And I gradually move. And I can't see my fist because the lamp is so bright.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel that even if I go past the lamp, I still wouldn't be able to see my fist, if that makes sense. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Hang on. Using that as an example, what you're looking at The corona is the lampshade.
Okay.
Your fist covers the bulb. You can still see the lampshade, but you can then see your fist in front of it. Move your hand down or to the side to where you're getting the light from the bulb. Now you cannot see your fist as much because of the intense light from the bulb.
It just becomes a silhouette at that point.
Okay. Okay.
You block the bulb. You can see your hand that is blocking the bulb, but you're still able to see the shade that is larger around it. And that shade is being illuminated by the bulb. That is what's happening when you are seeing the corona during a total solar eclipse.
Yep. This footage, you're not going to be able to see jack because it's not zoomed in as far, but other people with camera sensors, a lot more sensitive than mine, can. And being that we were all staring at the same spot, I think it's safe to assume that it was the same solar eclipse that I was seeing. So, yeah.
Emmerich still saying he wish he can comment, but he's blocked here. But everybody sees his comment, so obviously he's still lying like a bitch.
He's not blocked. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
sorry, had to point that out.
Yeah, I know. So, also, I did want to point out something here. And by the way, I'm just going to tell you that this is 100% completely irrelevant to everything. But I have to do this. And so we do this. And then we do this. Solar flares, bitches!
That's pretty epic.
That is awesome.
That is epic right there. Fucking love that. I went there and I was like, I need to capture the flares. If I don't capture the flares, I'm going to lose my shit. And I captured the flares, so I'm happy. That was awesome. That was great.
You know how much I'm kicking myself?
That was great.
I gotta show you the pictures I got of. I'm kicking myself so hard, you have no idea. So,
let's see.
Eclipse telephoto. Nice, beautiful images. Like I can see sunspots and everything. Not amazing.
No, there's 5. I don't know. I thought there was
I could
like
see
3. Or actually, there's 7 or 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's 6.
Yeah, there's lots of them. All the way through, and then some idiot didn't refocus their camera after taking their solar photo off.
Ouch. Sorry, Kara.
But you see those little red blobs?
Yep.
Yep.
You also caught flares.
I took this into Focus Magic, where Cordis pointed me to this. Which one is it? This one? I just kind of sharpened it up, and I actually have a fairly decent picture. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I could also see some solar flares. I would have loved to have this in focus. You have no idea how badly I hate myself for not refocusing.
That's the one thing I was like, I need to capture the flares. And when I returned back to the camera, I realized it wasn't recording. I was like, oh, fuck. Did I not record this? So I'm replaying it back through the camera, and the P900 sucks at fast forwarding through footage, and I caught it, and I was like, yes! So fucking awesome. It was epic.
Sorry. So, Sean, in the next 2024, whenever the fuck this is, I may be coming to your parents' house.
Cool.
There we go. We'd love to have you. Anyway, also, part-time. So, all this reminiscing and being happy and giddy over science and stuff like that, getting back to the point, though, Mike, or whoever the fuck this person is full of shit, objectively, correct?
Well, I gotta look into
it. Of course
it.
he is.
After everything you've seen here.
I'm gonna look into it, guys. I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah, that's my way of saying I'm not gonna admit that I was fucking wrong. Be a fucking man. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Why do y'all get so mad? Because some people
because you're a dishonest little prick.
How am I dishonest? How am I dishonest?
You've seen us actually show you that somebody's full of shit, and you're like, "Oh, I'll look into it," which is usually the excuse we get when I'm just going to ignore it.
I don't like this.
Remember what I said about. Remember what I said about how every time you say that, what is actually said is "fuck you." I'm not doing a damn thing.
Pretty much.
No, I just don't.
You will take people's words as long as they're saying it's flat Earth, like it's the gospel, and somebody shows you that they're wrong, and I'll look into it. And then usually, every time we hear that, except for the 2 examples you've given today, has always been,
I'm just going to fuck off and just ignore everything you showed.
You guys are telling me to call him like
a liar? Yes.
An idiot, a liar.
Yeah, he's a liar.
It's first of all, there's a difference between lying and being misinformed. Okay, if someone's lying, they're purposely telling you something that's false. But
Welcome
if
to Flat Earth.
but listen.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Just let him finish. Go ahead.
The information he may have gave may have been misinformative, but that doesn't mean he's intentionally lying to me.
Okay, intentionality is beside the point. I will just attribute this to the fact that he's a fucking idiot. Okay, beside the point. He was wrong, correct?
Nestle just hit the nail on the head. When you show that a guy is wrong, he is wrong. And you not admitting that shows that you're not being honest about it.
If whether he was wrong because he was an idiot, whether he was wrong because he's a liar, whether he was wrong because he simply forgot to take meds that morning, doesn't fucking matter. The point is he uploaded a video that is demonstrably false, and you are not stepping up and being yes, that is demonstrably false.
Let me say this. Maybe I was wrong in misrepresenting him. Because in his video, from what I remember, he was saying that perhaps, like, he was making a suggestion. He didn't say this is how it is.
He outright said it's not the moon. He didn't make a suggestion. He made an assertion which was totally baseless and false.
False, 100% false. So if he's making an assertion, we debunk it as being complete horseshit. And you're here, being shown this evidence on a silver platter because, we knew that this was going to happen. And so if we knew this was going to happen and we prepared ahead of time for it and we show you evidence that completely debunks this nonsense and you not admitting up to it, what are we supposed to conclude from that? Are we really going to look at you as an intellectually honest individual?
If I wasn't if I wasn't intellectually honest, I would just be like, oh, well, all that's everything you show me is CGI. I mean, I told you.
No. That is the opposite of intellectual honesty.
That's what I'm saying.
That's denying everything out of an assertion that you made out your ass. That's not intellectually honest.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. I'm saying, yeah, that's some evidence.
Here's my contention with it. A part-time. You keep saying I'll look into it. We have shown you evidence to the contrary of what your story is. Directly in real time, we have shown you that it's wrong. What is there left to look into?
Because sometimes there's ways you can mold two different contrasting views. So maybe
not like this, because in one aspect, the moon is not there. In the other, the moon is there. How the fuck do you meld those two together without coming up with some horrible bastard child?
You guys haven't seen that video I was talking about with
Did the moon block the sun?
No. Remember Carl saying the video earlier?
God damn it, dude.
We're talking about the moon, and we're not talking about Carl Sagan. Honestly, fuck him at this point. I'm
Did
talking
the moon block
about
the sun or not?
Yes,
that just answer that.
What?
Did the moon block the sun?
Let me remind everyone what Part-Time Vegan's assertion was. He referred to this Mike guy, which we actually covered in Sci Strike's Hangout last night, and his assertion was that the sun is eclipsing itself.
Correct.
We have shown that to be demonstrably false, and you are just avoiding it like the plague.
So I'm going to ask you this question, which is the same question that Kara just asked. Did the moon eclipse the sun during the 2017 solar eclipse?
And crickets.
That is a question I legit want answered.
From what y'all showing me, it looked like the moon eclipsed the sun. That's what
Mike was wrong. What is there to look into?
I like to process things, and then this is an argument we have every time. Every time I get on, this is the argument we have. I just like to
because
here's the thing.
Bring something up.
Hold on, Curtis. Here's the thing. You brought an assertion. We showed evidence that assertion was false. And you're still saying you need to look into the assertion.
No. Yeah, you showed evidence that assertion was false. I agree with that. I'm just saying I'm just gonna look into it. That's all I'm saying. I don't like discrediting people's names, even if it's you guys. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, Red's full of shit. Yeah, Red's blah blah blah. I don't like discrediting people like that. That's not my style. That's just who I am.
Except here's a problem with that. No one should be immune from being discredited, even me. Okay, if someone were to say, okay, listen, if I said that that my dick is so massive it's the size of the Empire State Building, and then someone somehow got a picture of my incredibly small tallywhacker to the point where they had to break out the fucking magnifying glass and switch it to full 4K res to see the damn thing, and they showed that to you, are you just going to jump to the conclusion of yes, his dick actually is small, and then that every time he says that his dick is so massive he can use it as a kickstand is full of shit? Or are you really going to say, I'll look into it?
I mean, obviously, like, you can tell if an assertion is wrong. Okay.
Okay. So
you clearly didn't.
I would be 100% wrong in that case. Okay. This moon assertion is Mike's penis. Okay. Think of it like that. This assertion is Mike's penis, and he is hiding the fact that it's tiny as fuck. Okay. The moon eclipsed the sun. We have shown you pictures of lunar features during the eclipse that all of us were there to see. So what more is there to actually investigate? What more is there to actually look into that would in any way, shape, or form discredit what we just said here?
Well, for example, you guys were talking about how you can't see moon features as the moon approaches the sun
with the naked eye,
and that's that's stuff I'm going to look into. That's the stuff I'm going to look into.
Here's the thing: when the moon is approaching totality and leaving totality, you generally have a filter on. That filter is not going to let any of the reflected light from the moon reach the camera because it's too fucking filtered. It's made to filter out, what is it, 1/1000th or 1/10,000th of a % of light is allowed to go through a filter.
0.00 some small fraction of a percent. Yeah.
Earthshine is not going to show through a filter. Period. So you're raising the goalpost to the point to where it can't be shown because it's not possible for a camera to show the sun and the moon when the sun is actually lighting into the camera.
That type of dynamic filter. That type of dynamic range would be just godly. And also, you have to take into account that it's not really going to matter at the end of the day because when totality happens, the moon hasn't stopped being there. So whether we show it as it's coming in to the position where the sun is or at totality, the moon was still there and surface features were still visible. Therefore, we're able to conclude that the moon was actually there. And if we're able to conclude the moon is actually there because we have pictures of the damn thing, that means that Mike is full of shit. All you need to do is be intellectually honest enough to say, yes, I have actually seen evidence that Mike is full of shit. And this,
but that's what I said. I saw the evidence. I said that. I said, yes, I see the evidence.
Yeah, but you didn't say the other thing I was about to say. Quote, this evidence is concrete. Therefore, Mike is full of shit. Whoever this Mike dude is.
Why do you always try to push me to say certain things? Because, you know, sometimes people will quote people out of context.
I'm trying to get you to be intellectually honest.
You did quote him with his assertion, and we showed that that assertion is wrong.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, you guys showed contrary evidence. I agreed to that. But, you know, sometimes people watch videos, and then they'll quote, oh, a part-time vegan said that, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't want to get into that.
Okay, how about this? Let's hear it right from the horse's mouth. Okay, let's... I know if I just type in solar eclipse flat earth, I'm going to find this douchebag. So let's go ahead and try this out. So solar eclipse, let's just add flat earth at the end of it because, of course, that's the cutting edge of flat earth research is add flat earth to everything. Okay, so let's see. And his name is Mike what exactly?
Helmick.
Mike Helmick?
Yeah. I believe that's it.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see. There we go. All right. Let's see. I'm going to screen share in a bit.
No, if you get to the video, you got to play the part where he says, "I'm in totality," and there's shadows everywhere.
Okay, let's see.
That's my
Nothing
favorite
block-
part of the video.
Yep, Mike Helmick. All right, I found it. Oh, Jesus Christ. DITRH. Is this guy deep inside the rabbit hole? Is that him?
I think that is him.
Oh God, another douchebag I debunked. This is gonna be funny as fuck. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna full screen this thing.
Hey, Jared, do you remember what the dog was doing in the background of the picture when he was putting on his frog glasses?
Oh God.
Okay, so I'm gonna present to everyone now. So let me know if you can actually see me screen sharing this garbage. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to blast this through my speakers. So guys, if you can do me a favor, since this, I thank you. Thank fuck this video is only 3 minutes 40 seconds long, otherwise we'll never get through it. I am going to unplug my headset. Everyone do me a favor and mute, and we're going to watch this all the way through, and we're going to comment on it after the fact. That way we're not having any misrepresentations. Okay? Okay. So everyone mute, please, and here it goes.
It was Eclipse Day, August 21st, 2017. I have been tracking the eclipse all day. I've been receiving photos from all over the place. We did get an eclipse in Spain. We got an eclipse in the UK. And the various camera places I had set up for the eclipse, unfortunately, were chemtrailed out. There was heavy chemtrailing all over today. We have recorded it from 6 a.m. till eclipse time, and the chemtrails.
Correction, they're called contrails, but that's okay. Side point.
Were just crazy. Before we get into what I found, first of all, NASA photobombed the ISS, passing in front of the eclipse. Of course, as usual, they're lying. We pasted that in. You can see the square box there.
Apparently, Pixels debunked this. Yeah, right.
Get that out of the way.
JPEG
What we're looking for today is maybe that Zedic Earth glass black disk passing in front of the sun, or maybe looking for the moon and its angles, or something besides what we did find. Because, folks, what we found passing in front of the sun is absolutely nothing. Nothing's there. What you're looking at here is a photo from David Weiss, Debra. He sent this to me on Skype.
I'm just actually going to stop it right there. Nothing is there. That is a bold fucking assertion. Do we need to watch any more of this garbage?
Actually, I got to correct myself. I was actually thinking of a different one of his videos. This is not the same video I was talking about.
Oh, okay. But
give like 10 more seconds. I'm curious what he's about to say.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you many other photos. We spectrum analyzed these. Well, Chris Monk did.
He spectrum. Okay. I was curious how he analyzed.
And some other people also tried, and we get the same results. There's nothing there blocking the sun. Okay, so what I did is I took David's sun, put it in Photoshop, reversed the light just to see where the light was going and to see what was blocking the light. The problem is there's nothing blocking the light. There's nothing in the way of the light of the sun. The sun is giving off light as normal, as it would be shaped that way as you're seeing it there. This is very, very odd. This is totally unexpected. And we were looking for something totally different during this eclipse. Here, this picture was sent to me by Robert on Facebook, and the same deal. The light pattern is not affected by any object blocking it. Means there's no object there. And so, here's the same object. I just reversed it so you're seeing the light part of it. What we did notice is there seemed to be a gathering of light where the sun apparently was supposed to have an object in front of it. We did notice that. This picture here was done by Chris Monk through a spectrum electro something wave analyzer. Anyways, not Photoshop, something totally different. He gets the same results when he was tracing the light paths out through depth. There's just nothing there, folks. Here is another version of things he attempted trying to get something to show up to block the background light waves, but there's nothing there to block it. Folks,
wow.
Nothing caused the sun eclipse today.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. And nothing more.
That's amazing.
That debunks he debunks himself, pretty much.
Okay, so I think it's clear to say that this Mike dude has completely made an assertion there, bold-faced assertion, And being that he made an assertion that, quote, nothing blocked the sun, and we're showing you lunar features of the moon that, you know, supposedly wasn't fucking there, it's safe to say that he's full of shit, right, Part-Time?
So what is y'all's opinion on the pictures? Like,
Okay, answer my question first, and I'll tell you my opinion on the pictures. That means that he was full of shit, correct?
The evidence you guys showed is contrary to what he said.
In other words, he was full of shit, correct?
Oh my gosh, I just said the evidence you showed is contrary to what he said.
So he was wrong, correct?
Why do you do this every single time?
Is he correct or is he wrong? Cut straight answer.
The evidence you showed me is contrary to what he said. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just not trying to just say, oh, everything he said is bullshit.
So what does the evidence show about him?
The evidence you showed that the moon was there.
Shows that he is what?
Oh my God. Why is it so important?
The evidence shows he's wrong. That's all you have to say.
It shows that he's wrong. That's literally all you have to say. It shows that he is wrong. I'm trying to get you to be intellectually honest, and you're not doing it. You're making my job really fucking difficult.
It's unwilling.
That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to say, yes, he was wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to believe somebody who was wrong. It's not okay for this douchebag because he'll never fucking admit it. But you're not this douchebag. You're someone else. So don't put his honor, if he even has fucking any, you know, on the table here. Leave that out. Focus on yourself. You saw his assertion, or saw and heard. I mean, you saw and heard his video. His assertion that, quote, nothing blocked the sun. If we have pictures of the moon that he asserts was not there, that shows that he was full of shit. Now I'm going to tone it down and be a little bit nicer and just say he was wrong. So I ask you, was he wrong in this, for that particular assertion, that one assertion that he made? Was he wrong when he made that assertion?
Do you like have to wait to get a chat response from somebody else to tell you what to say or what?
No, I mean, like, I just hate when people try to corner me to say certain things. Like, you're like, I'm not trying to defend him.
Here's the thing, though. If you actually answered the questions honestly and directly to begin with, you wouldn't be treated this way.
I've been answering the questions honestly.
Okay, so honestly speaking, he's full of shit, right?
In a nicer way.
In a nice, okay, listen, not everyone's a douchebag like me, but quite honestly, fuck it at this point, okay? The guy does not deserve any respect. He actively lies to people for a fucking living. I'm not going to give him any respect. You can if you want. You can if you want. So that's why I'm saying it in a nicer way so you can simply agree with me. Instead of him being full of fucking shit, which he is, I'm just going to say he was wrong. Will you agree with me that he was wrong? At least this one time.
Crickets.
Okay, repeat after me. It appears, based on new evidence, that he was incorrect in his original assertions.
That's what I've been saying, but you guys want me to say something specific, and I'm just like, really?
No, we're not. We're just saying admit he was wrong, that he was he was basing things on a false premise.
Basically. It was wrong. I mean, I don't know how
should you say it. Just,
I would rather I would rather discuss this.
Put it in your own words. In what way was he wrong?
I would rather discuss the substance of what he said than just say, "Oh, let's just."
His substance was wrong. I mean,
okay.
The basis of his
Let me
entire
ask.
argument is false.
Can I just based on the basis of his argument? Do you understand how an image file, like what gets saved with an image file from a camera? You realize that it doesn't capture everything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So when you take a picture of something through a solar filter, do you know what clipping the blacks is?
No.
That means all of the light information below a certain point is not collected. It is erased. It is never stored because it never gets to this camera sensor. So he's trying to extract information from a picture where that information does not exist. And based on that, he's saying that the moon doesn't exist or it's not there. That's his premise. He simply doesn't understand how a picture gets saved and the fact that all the light information isn't there.
Oh, wow.
He's looking for things that aren't there.
Okay, so
that was a pretty good explanation. That's what I wanted, an explanation like that.
Let me just.
So he's wrong.
Let me just repeat something Happy Jesus said. You're not willing to say is wrong. Are you willing to say that he was non-right?
Hey, part-time. It's kind of funny because I've been sitting here for, since you were in a side chat, explaining how the evidence for the globe Earth is wrong. But now that you've been shown evidence to the contrary of the eclipse, you won't say that another flat earther is wrong. How hypocritical is that?
I mean, I guarantee you, if I said 2 plus 2 equals 5, you would be on my ass very, very quickly, and you would be hammering that in like a screen door in a hurricane. But the moment a flat earther says 2 plus 2 equals 5, all of a sudden we have to say, well, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'll have to look into it. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't recall myself saying that the globe Earth is wrong, though. So I think you're kind of misquoting me.
Actually, should we? Do you have DVR turned on?
No, but
because you said that the globe model doesn't predict anything several times.
I said that
the globe model is wrong.
Yeah,
many times.
Fails in certain predictions.
When was this? Like, was this today?
When we were talking about
in this very hangout.
In this very hangout. It happened when I was talking to you about predicting the ISS passing from the sun literally 4 fucking days in the future and from over like 700 miles away.
I'm pretty sure you guys, I might have misarticulated myself, but what I was saying is that just because something predicts something doesn't mean that model's correct. That doesn't mean I'm saying the model's wrong, but
no, but you did say that the globe model has failed to predict certain things.
Yes. Oh no. I think this is what I was trying to say. So like some people might go out and according to the time and date, they're supposed to see that that same satellite, right? Well, they might not get those results.
Well, maybe they were wrong rather than the entire theory.
Also, I want to.
Yeah, no. That's what I was pointing out when I said that sometimes it can be wrong. I didn't say the globe model is wrong. I'm saying that
there are times the person is wrong.
Yeah.
Every time I have used the predictive measures that are available to us, because I actually know how to sync things up and actually pay attention to the details of what I'm trying to do. Those predictive measures have never failed me. Every time it said that this object is taking this path from this time to this time, it has been spot fucking on.
Correct.
Yep, and the same path that has gone over my area in Texas was been able to be seen in Minnesota and Virginia. Spot on to the second.
And by the time, didn't you and epistemology use the same pass of the ISS to perform a triangulation to confirm its altitude?
I mean, I know myself and Astronomy Live did.
Unless he stepped away and is not listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was by the time in epistemology.
Yeah, and they got it exceptionally accurate to what NASA and the other space agencies have put out is the ISS is at this altitude. They independently did their own measurements and actually used parallax, used the triangulation, and confirmed it.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, so we have a few things here. First thing, every time you try to put NASA under scrutiny, they end up passing. Every time you put the flat Earth model under scrutiny, it always ends up failing. Whenever you go to these douchebags and they'll be like, "Oh, no moon was there. Show evidence that the moon is actually there," they still won't come out and just say, "Yes, they were fucking wrong." Actually, let's try this. Part-time, do you have contact with this Mike Hemmick or Hemlick or Hemorrhoid, whatever the fuck his name is, dude? Do you have any way to get in contact with this guy?
Possibly. I mean, we're not like best friends or anything, but like we've commented back and forth.
Okay, so if you can set something up for me, tell him that he can either come on my hangout or I can go on his hangout. I just want to show him that one picture that I have that shows lunar features during the solar eclipse. I'm wondering, I really am fucking wondering if he will be intellectually honest enough to come out and say, you know what, I was wrong. Because at this point, you're not willing to say he's wrong. You're just willing to say that, oh, you've shown evidence that might be contrary to what he's saying. So I'm wondering what he will do. You're willing to defend this guy. I don't know why, but whatever.
Wait, hold on. See, now you're putting straw man. I'm not defending him. I just don't want to say, you know, he's full of shit. He's a bullshitter. He's a liar, like everybody else. I'm just not that type of person.
Oh, I wasn't.
I want to point out.
I wasn't going so far as to say that to call him a liar. I was simply going so far as to say that he was wrong. Whether it's accidental or on purpose is beside the point.
I want to point out that that is exactly what you do when it comes to the globe Earth, based only on the word of flat Earth leaders. You say the globe Earth is wrong because of what this one dude is saying, even when he's shown to be wrong.
Completely full of shit is the way I would phrase it.
I really feel like you guys are putting words in my mouth. When did I say that the Earth is wrong? Because in many of my conversations with people who believe in round Earth, I'll say, yeah, the round Earth explains a lot.
What doesn't it explain? You say it doesn't explain.
Let's try different.
But here's my point. Just because something explains reality doesn't necessarily mean it pertains to reality.
Oh my god, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard all day. Chuck's beer on the floor.
Fuckball.
Wait, do you not?
Therefore, something that explains reality all of a sudden doesn't explain reality?
I said just because something explains reality doesn't mean it pertains to reality. And I showed an example how, like, if everything was dark, all right, and you only have one light, and it was moving across a plane or whatever, you could say, oh, the light is moving. Or you can say, oh, I'm moving. Or you can say both are moving. But there's three different explanations that are explaining one event. So just because something explains reality doesn't mean it pertains to reality.
Or better yet, we simply have a better way of explaining it, because our model doesn't go into an abstract point of reference. It only goes to one point of reference, the Earth. So from my perspective, if I was to count myself as a center point in that, I would say that relative to me, the light is moving this way. And relative to me, the light has a habit of doing this. And relative to me, the light has a habit of doing that as well at this particular time. Therefore, I can construct the model around it.
Hold on, Red. You really should look into the channels of people that you're on the panel here with, because I've actually done a video on this specifically. It was a test.
Yes.
I actually had Slice Barcane build two models, one with a rotating Earth and one with a stationary Earth with the sun orbiting it. Yes. And I challenged people to vote on which model was which.
Correct.
And the honest answer is you can't tell as long as you only have 2 points of reference. When you start adding in other bodies like the moon, the planets, the motions of stars, you can finally tell what's doing the moving.
Yes.
On a 2-point reference system, you can't tell. We have more than 2 points of observation.
And also, that was leading me to my second point. Good job on that one. The second point is that we're talking about relative to us. So relative to us, yes, everything else is moving around us, but we're talking about relative to us. Now, let's start adding in some math to that. Math that has been shown to work in reality on the planet, and then simply apply it to bigger bodies. And then you start to realize that there's contradictions within certain models that may actually, you know, somewhat comport. Oh, it's not us that's moving, it's this. Once you realize that the laws of physics that work on Earth show an inherent contradiction when you apply like this to be the center point relative to, or instead of that being the center point, all of a sudden you find out why geocentrism becomes bullshit. So no, even with that light in a dark room example, you are still fucked up the ass sideways, because we have even answered that, and Cool Hard Logic has made an extensive 10-part series on this shit showing you why it is bullshit. I'll even send you the playlist.
Sean, I actually disagree with what Sean said. Sean said if we had more than one reference point, then we could still figure out if something was moving. I still feel like you have to make a basal assumption that something is sitting still. For example, let's say we had 3 stars in the sky and they were all moving. You still can't tell, well, is this star moving and this star moving and that star moving and I'm just standing still, or am I moving and just
it's what explains the motions.
Actually,
again, part-time, the more objects of reference you have, the more detailed the model can become.
I agree with that.
We have a sun. We have, well, 7 planets if you don't count Earth. We also have Pluto, which can be seen. So just within our own solar system, with just 10 points of reference, we can figure out what is moving in which direction and how fast.
No.
Yes, you can. It's called spatial reasoning.
You still have to make some basal assumptions.
Like what?
For example, for example, the people in the past were their basal assumption that was Earth was in the center and everything is moving around us. And now
that was shown to be bullshit.
Which turned out to be wrong.
And then as more information was gathered, they realized that was incorrect. And then they reorientated based on the information at hand that the sun was the center of all this relative motion.
Sean, okay, well, provide me one example, because you made the assertion that if you have multiple reference points, you can still determine what's moving, what's not moving. Provide me an example in which that is the case.
Red's got it on the screen right now.
I'm showing it to you on the screen right now, just as you were saying that, just so you know.
The orbits do not match the motions and sizes. The angular sizes of the planets do not match a pattern on the right. They do match the pattern on the left.
Correct.
So based on observation of all of these objects, we have eventually concluded, not by assumptions, just by going by measurements, that...
Wait, how come they don't match on the right? How come we can't conclude they're right?
Can you put that GIF in motion?
I wish I could. It's not a motion. It's not a motion, but you can. But that's why the paths are traced.
See, from what I've understand and from what I studied, the reason we chose the heliocentric model was because it
matches observations.
Well, no, you can still the geocentric model still matches observations.
No,
but
it doesn't.
No. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh my gosh!
And I will back that up if you want me to. It doesn't match observations. Period. But continue. You were saying.
You ever heard of gravity?
Okay. So no. Oh my! Let's not get into gravity right now. So you're telling me if let's say I'm sitting on Earth and I'm looking at the stars. Whatever path those stars are taking, I can still always go from the reference point of Earth isn't moving. Now, those paths that they're taking might be complicated, like the one on the right, but that just might be how reality is.
A complete clusterfuck? No.
Yeah. Well, how do you know?
Well,
because there's
even Neil deGrasse Tyson said reality has no.
So what you're saying is Mercury goes past the sun, outside of the orbit of what is that, Mars?
Yeah. Also,
that is what geocentrics require. Is that Mercury? Yes.
The Tuco model is a lot different than that. I don't know. I don't know.
He's going with the multiple crystal sphere domes thingies. Oh my god.
He's going with
at least he pronounced the name right. I'll give him that.
Which is,
but he actually pronounced it right because you corrected me that one time.
He's going off of how, in that model, the sun revolves around the Earth, and then everything else revolves around the sun. But here's the problem with that. You would still have those other celestial bodies moving in a way that does not match our actual observations.
Yeah,
that's if you're looking for like a uniformity. If you're looking for some type of uniform motion, like, okay, they all use this type of rotation, then yeah, you might not find that. Let's
back this up a bit, because you said that the heliocentric model was based on assertions. Actually, you're wrong. The assumption at the time was that it was geocentric. And because of observation, they say, this doesn't add up. These planets are not the right angular sizes compared to what we should be seeing on a geocentric model.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there some dude that took out a telescope, pointed it at Jupiter, and then was placed on house arrest by simply stating what his observation showed?
Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, gee, it sounds like we were really batting for the heliocentric model then, weren't we?
Yeah, the church didn't want heliocentrism at all. They actually arrested people for even suggesting it.
So keep in mind that it wasn't because of favoritism that we went with the heliocentric model. It was because geocentrism was bollocks. I'm sorry, Cool Hard Logic. I will never parry that again. I do not have enough of an English accent. Please forgive me, for I have sinned. Amen. Anyway, so moving on. The geocentric model does not match observations. It does not comport with reality, especially when you have to take into account that multiple bodies would actually have to inhabit different laws of physics in order for this shit to even be possible. And keep in mind, since
why can't that be possible? Why can't that happen?
Because I know that
here's the simple thing. What's the fastest thing something can go in the universe?
I don't know.
Speed of light.
Big
Nothing
city.
can go faster.
186,000 miles per second.
I don't know.
Now, if geocentrics were right, Neptune would be exceeding the speed of light in order to stay in orbit to go around us 24 hours in a 24-hour period.
And that's predicated off the mathematics that the speed of light is actually something that nothing go faster than. I don't even know. So no. How did you prove that?
No. Actually, we have proved that. I'm going to say it again, but slower this time just to piss you off. We have proved that.
No.
Now you can ask me to prove it, and I'll be more than happy to.
No, because every time we see something go, like for example, the experiment with neutrinos, instead of saying
which was found to be false. It was a false result.
No. Listen, let me talk, because every time I try to speak, I get cut off. But with the neutrinos, we see, oh, wow, I guess things might go faster than the speed of light. Oh, no, the experiment must be wrong. It must have been something wrong with the experiment. Let's look at it and recheck the source. And that's what it's going to be. Every time we see contrary evidence, we're just going to conclude, oh, well, it must have been something.
It turned out to be. Hang on. Are you suggesting for a second that there might actually have been a conspiracy here, or you're not even going to give even a you're not even going to grant the possibility that maybe the experiment was fucked up from the start?
I don't agree that the speed of light I don't believe that it's proven that the speed of light is the fastest.
Well, here's the thing. Reality doesn't give a fuck what you believe. This is the case, and you've proven it.
All right, show me the proof then. Show me the proof.
What? And here's the thing about that whole neutrino experiment. Here's the wonderful thing about science in general, and especially when it pertains to the scientific method. Once you get beyond that initial experiment and the paper is released, guess what happens? Other people try to peer review. Other people try to independently verify it just based off of what you put in the paper to see if what you put in the paper is actually the legit results, or if you ended up missing something and screwed up your results.
Okay, so where's the proof that things can't go faster than the speed of light?
No, we're saying things don't go faster than the speed of light.
All right, where's the proof?
Here's the thing, and it's really simple.
Can you
if something's able to move faster, well, hold on, Kara. It's actually really simple. We know that atoms exist. We know that they're surrounded by electrons.
Wait, how do you know atoms exist?
Because my fucking God, are you going to completely undermine even the basics?
Listen. I'm open-minded. I guess when you guys look at certain things, you're like, oh, this is just impossible.
Don't be that to the point where your brain falls out. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm basically trying to explain this to you in the simplest ways. Okay. Hang on. You asked me to explain it. I'm actually going to this time. So if you want the answer, you need to shut up and actually listen to it. Okay, there exists a branch of mathematics out there based on actual observations. As things go faster, as they approach the speed of light, the object's mass increases. We have demonstrated this. And at some point, the mass becomes so much that you would require pretty much an infinite amount of energy in order to exceed a certain speed limit. And so being that an infinite amount of energy is simply not obtainable, that means that there is a cosmic speed limit, which would be 186,000 miles per second.
It's actually simpler than that, Red.
Okay, it's even simpler than that. Go ahead.
Well, electrons move around an atom at the speed of light. If an atom actually exceeds that speed of light, the electrons can no longer keep up. They get ripped off. Things disintegrate at the speed of light. Plain and simple.
So basically,
can you name one person? Can you name one person that's seen an electron or an atom?
You have heard of electron microscopes, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of electron microscopes?
No one has ever seen an electron or an atom.
Hold on. Is your argument that since people can't see electrons with their naked eye, that they must not exist? Is that your argument?
Air seems to be rather transparent to me, so I don't believe it exists.
No, I'm just saying nobody's ever seen an atom or electron. It's all.
we have actually seen it.
Actually, we have built molecules with the use of electron microscopes. And
all right, please show me what an atom looks like. Please.
Sure. I can.
I'll bring up a picture right now. So this one's actually quite nerdy. I apologize for it in advance, but here's a Star Trek spelled out in atoms.
Yeah, those are individual atoms, bub.
Look pretty, don't they?
This was pretty fucking badass. Just saying, they could take individual atoms. I think these are platinum atoms, if I'm not mistaken. So they took individual atoms and were able to arrange them into a Star Trek logo. That is
where
badass.
are the proton and neutrons and all that stuff? I don't see those.
Jesus. Even smaller.
Even smaller than that.
You want to see a quasar? That's in space, but there's a quartz. Wait, no, it's quartz that's subatomic, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, quarks are subatomic.
Quarks, yeah.
And here's another thing. Because of the wonderful work at CERN, they are actually detecting and observing subatomic particles. Not even just electrons and protons and neutrons, but the bosons that make them up.
Even smaller than atoms. The things that make atoms.
There was even a short movie made called A Boy and His Atoms, and it's basically a stop motion, but it's a stop motion actually made of atoms. They filmed atoms in stop motion.
Didn't they offer like a Nobel Prize to the person who couldn't find the last subatomic atom because they found so many of them?
Yeah, and so basically, not only were you wrong in the fact that they couldn't see atoms, you were wrong to the point where they actually made a stop-motion video out of the fucking shit.
When I say atom, I mean like the structure of the atom, like the protons and the electrons and all that stuff. You just showed me some. It looks like an indent that spells Star Trek. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking about showing me that, because we always see the cartoon representation of what an atom looks like.
That's not true.
I want to.
That representation is not right.
Yeah, it's a simplification for teaching.
Then what does it actually look like? That's what I want to see.
It looks like a dot.
It looks like a dot. Okay.
Indecipherably small.
You do realize that that if you were to look at the reason why they look like kind of opaque spheres is because that's actually how they look like. They're really just opaque spheres.
And the reason for that is
which is why you don't see them being called like electron paths. You see it being called the electron cloud.
Mm.
That's what they actually look like. What you're seeing is like if you look up atoms and you get that Jimmy Neutron type logo bullshit. That is an oversimplification for teaching.
Now, to explain the electron cloud. If you think about it, electrons are orbiting the nucleus of an atom at the speed of light. And what is the speed of light, Red?
Speed of light is 186,000 miles per second.
And think of that in as small of unit as possible of distance around that atom. It is going to look like nothing but a solid object.
Yes. So you're basically asking us to see an object, an individual
I'm being told I'm wrong.
Electron.
Here, I'm being told I'm wrong here. So, Steve, can you explain that?
Hang on. You're asking us to see an individual electron that's whizzing around the nucleus of an atom at an extremely high velocity, and the fact that we can't, that's somehow a fault on our behalf.
I'm being told I'm complete wrong. So I'm willing to accept. Because Steve is a nuclear physicist, or he's done nuke school, so I will gladly take his word and be corrected if I am.
Steve McRae, you've been invited.
He has no working mic, but I'm watching the chat, and I'll gladly accept his correction if I am wrong. But that's my understanding of the electron system.
George would like to come in as well, and he has just as much knowledge, if not more. Yay, electrical engineers unite!
See, unlike flat earthers, I will happily stand corrected.
Okay.
Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired, but those shots are actually legit. And yeah, by the way, basically you said no one has ever seen an atom. Yes, we actually have. And anyone can send him the link, by the way. With that being said,
I'm talking about the atoms with the proton, the neutron, and the electron. That's what I was talking
That's
about.
not how they look like, though. That's just like a representation of how.
Okay, how do you know what it doesn't look like if you've never even seen one?
Because you can observe the motions and you can.
Oh, so you observe the motion. So you don't observe the actual particle. You're just observing the motions.
If I was to observe a car traveling in a circle at a very, very, very high fucking velocity, would I be able to see it? Would I be able to take a picture of it if it was moving fast enough?
So we haven't seen it. We just observed the motions and made the calculations off the motions. Okay, so I wasn't wrong.
It's an oversimplification. Okay.
Okay. Two things.
So red. Have we seen an electron? Yes or no?
Yes.
We have.
All right, let me see it. Please, can I see the picture, please?
I will send you the complicated mathematics momentarily.
Oh, so you're going to show me a math formula that tells me we see.
The thing is, hold on. We don't take pictures of electrons. We see with electrons. The thing is you're asking us to produce an image of something that is below the resolution of what we can actually image.
Yeah.
So nobody. So nobody.
Hold on.
Time.
Hold on. We have sensors that can detect electrons, so we can tell you where they are at any point in time, but they are also subject to quantum mechanics. And if you want to get into a whole deep conversation about quantum mechanics and how we can't actually predict the exact position of an electron, we can only give an approximation as to where it will be. Or the thing is you're expecting
George,
something for something you
George,
don't
you
actually
are in the.
understand.
You are in.
No.
the
I'm fine. No, I'm fine with that explanation.
Like, what
I don't have an
picture
issue with
do you
explanation.
want? Like, what kind of picture are you expecting? Like, do
I
you
don't
want to
have
see
it-
a little atom with little quarks sticking to it and a little electron and
Yeah,
orbiter?
you know what?
Those
Yeah.
don't exist. That's not what we will
That's
see.
not how
So
they
nobody
look like.
has. So listen.
That is not what
I
we'll
said.
see.
This is what I said. Nobody has seen an atom.
That does not mean they're not there.
Okay, but no, that was just my point I was trying to make. Nobody has seen it. And I'm not saying they're not there. I'm just saying nobody has seen it. So we're making postulations off of their motions and stuff. And don't get me wrong, we came a long way because of that. But you're basically saying, oh, well, you said no one's seen an atom, therefore they don't exist. I didn't say that. I'm just saying no one has seen an atom.
And what is your fucking point?
That was my
Hang
point.
on. Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up for a second. Everyone shut up. How does that in any way, shape, or form help your case with any point you have made previously?
Because your foundation is based off so basically your foundation is based off the structure of an atom, right? Because no, it is. Because
it's based on three-dimensional geometry.
Which is what? The structure of it. Because you can't get three-dimensional unless you're using the structure.
What?
How can we even talk about three-dimensional geometry if it has nothing to do with the structure of the atom?
Oh, okay. George is in, and I wish to be corrected, which I welcome and accept, because he actually has experience in this field. So go ahead and unmute George, and please correct me. I want it. Give it to me.
He likes to be beaten.
Corrected on what exactly?
The motion or the way that electrons orbit an atom, which I will happily stand corrected. That's just my understanding, so I probably could have been wrong. I have no issues with being wrong.
You were wrong about
well, I'm not exactly sure where you're all headed on this. It just sounds like a real free-for-all at the moment. But as far as a model of the atom goes, the old concept of what we were taught in school of having a nice tight nucleus and electrons, so-called quote-unquote orbiting, is not a correct model. I mean, it's a visual representation, the solar system model of the atom, but it's not correct. I mean, the whole thing is electrons exist outside the nucleus in an electron cloud, which is governed by probability statistics. It's fairly complicated. I mean, you have different types of what are called shells. You have the S shell, which is closest in, and then the P shell, which is kind of like a dumbbell, and the D shell. and so on. And what these all are is probabilistic statistics that tells you at any given point in time where an atom or an electron is most likely to appear. And electrons have mass. They cannot exist in space traveling at the speed of light. Nothing can travel, no material object can travel at the speed of light. It's the ultimate speed limit for material objects. If you look at the relativistic equations in special relativity for the mass of, or the energy of any mass, it asymptotically approaches infinite energy as the speed of that mass approaches the speed of light. You can think of it in terms of the fact that the mass of an object grows as it approaches the speed of light, and it just takes that much more energy to give it another incremental bump up in speed to increase its kinetic energy. And the thing is you can never ever reach the speed of light with a material object, because it just takes so much energy to get it. And once you start approaching like 0.999 the speed of light, it really starts taking an awful lot of energy to get to the next, incremental percentage. And I mean, we see that all the time with particle accelerators. You take, particle accelerators where you're accelerating protons around to smash. You have one set of protons going clockwise and another going counterclockwise, and then you aim the beams at one another and have them come crashing into one another. We very easily see that the mass of a proton grows exponentially as we give it more and more energy, and it gets closer and closer to the speed of light. I mean, these are very real effects. We know they occur in the laboratory. Mm-hmm. So but as far as the speed of light being the ultimate speed limit having changed is very easy to show in terms of, if you look at electrostatic forces and the Faraday force, Coulomb force law of electrostatic attraction, it has a constant in there called the permittivity of space, E epsilon, or E0 for permittivity of free space. That's the same constant that appears in Maxwell's equations that predicts the speed of light. And if the speed of light were to ever change, the electrostatic forces between charges in an atom would have to change. And the implications is if the speed of light were different, material objects, matter as we know it, would not exist in the form that we have. In fact, atoms would either collapse or they would fly apart.
Uh-huh. And now getting back to George, mute.
So I'm not exactly sure how this all relates in. I kind of jumped in late onto your eclipse and flat Earth discussion. Kind of sounds like you kind of got derailed a little bit.
That's the name of the game of my hangout, just so you know. Also, with part-time, I want to comment back on that. First of all, that was a really good explanation. Hope you took notes, but if not, I'll have this hangout unlisted at least and send you the link so you can listen to it again and write down some notes and verify this stuff for yourself that other scientists have actually done the hard
Plenty
work
of stuff
for
to
you.
look into.
Exactly. But going back to this, I want to clarify some things when it came to seeing electrons or seeing this, seeing that. And I think you misunderstood the concept or the context of the word seeing. When we see something, we can see it either directly or we can see something based on the effects that it leaves behind.
Can you present Nestle?
Yeah. So I was able to show you all the stuff that I left behind. So, and we know that they're there to such a extreme precision or to such an extreme certainty that we're using them in, wait for it, electron microscopes. So we're actually utilizing this thing that even though we don't see, we know that they're fucking there.
It's almost like having someone fan like air at you. Even though you can't see the fan, you know that it's there because you can feel the air coming at you.
You can feel the effects of that fan. So, you know, if I said I have an invisible fan in my hand and you're like, oh, well, prove it to me, and I start flapping the damn thing and you feel a pretty strong breeze from it and you're like, oh, holy shit, really? So there you go. So even though you can't see it like directly, you can see it indirectly. Now, indirect seeing doesn't debunk seeing it. It just simply means you're seeing it in a different way. And seeing it in a different way is completely legit, especially when you consider that we've actually utilized it. We have utilized it to our advantage.
Yeah. The thing, it happened about, let's see, when was it, CSU, about 20 years ago. IBM was working on a new microscope. It's called a tunneling electron microscope, not just an electron microscope. The electron microscope is what you do is you shoot out a beam of electrons, and in order to you know, see detail of objects, much like with light. You know, we see reflected light when we look through a microscope. In a electron microscope, tunneling electron microscope, you do the same thing, but with individual electrons, which allows you to see detail. But you can't see detail any smaller than basically the diameter of the objects that you are shooting, like electrons or light waves or whatever. You can't see detail any smaller than basically the wavelength of what you're trying to use as a medium to observe. Well, IBM had developed a probing microscope. We were working at CSU with them along with it about 20 years ago, and it's a pretty neat device. I think somebody put up a photograph of a man made out of electrons I saw, or out of atoms I saw just a bit ago, flash up on the screen. What that is this particular probing microscope. What it is, it's actually a little needle that scans just microns above the surface of the material, and it senses changes in electric fields. And from that, you can plot very, very minute details on surface structures. And they were able to, using this technique, actually image an individual atom. You can't see the real details on the inside of the atom, but you can recognize that it's kind of like looking at a person maybe just before darkness. You kind of see this cloud, this image. You can't see a person's face. You can't see the lines or eyes or anything, but you've kind of got this image of a shadow ghost of a person. This is the same thing that happens in scanning and seeing the surface details and identifying individual atoms. And the reason why we know we're seeing the atoms is because you can do this on crystal structures, and you can actually see the crystal pattern. You can see how the atoms are all orderly laid out in a geometric pattern, and reveals ionic bonding or covalent bonding or whatever. You can actually see the pattern in the crystal structure of the individual atoms. It's pretty cool. And IBM has also been able to take these probes and move individual atoms around and introduce atoms of different elements into a structure and actually build different types of structures by creating, synthesizing materials one atom at a time and putting them together in materials. It's really pretty cool stuff. In fact, I remember many years ago, if you look on the IBM site, they might have it, is they actually made a movie, a little cartoon movie of a stick man made out of atoms. And
A Boy and His Atoms. Yeah, we went over that like 3 times already when I told him that. Yeah, they've not only was he wrong, they were wrong to such an extent that they're actually making a movie with the things that they were wrong about. So that just goes to show you that we actually do know our shit. So part-time, given all the information you have heard so far, it's pretty safe to conclude that, yeah, even though they're really small, we do know our shit about them, correct?
Are you trying to corner me to a question? Because I want to respond, but I feel like you're trying to corner me to a question.
Honestly, anything I'm trying to do is going to seem like a corner to you, because all I'm trying to do is get you to be intellectually honest. I can see how that would be backing any flat earth into a corner.
But off topic. Thank you, George, for the correction.
Well, anyways, let's go ahead and recap what the hell just happened here. So I don't like it how when I make an argument, people automatically just throw a straw man in my mouth, and I'm about to get probably cut off talking. But anyways, I never said just because we can't see it, it doesn't exist. This all came from Red asked me, well, you believe in atoms, right? And I said, well, nobody has seen an atom. And then I was going to get into the structure of an atom, because it's more of a philosophical debate between like materialism and all this other jargon that I don't feel like diving into. But this all started from the center point of Sean saying that you
matter can't travel faster.
No. Before that, you were saying that.
Saying what?
About reference points. That's where this all came from.
No, this whole Adams thing came from because I asked you about how fast Neptune would have to be moving to orbit the Earth,
which is predicated upon how far Neptune is away from us,
which we can tell through parallax.
And parallax is also predicated on fixed points. If there are no fixed points, there cannot be you cannot measure parallax unless there is fixed points. Now, fixed points automatically is an assumption. You don't know.
Wait.
Question: what do you mean by fixed points in parallax? Do you know how to make a parallax measurement?
Yes, I know how to make a parallax measurement.
You have a baseline. You have 2 observers at a distance apart, which is called the baseline, and you measure angles.
Everything that's been predicated on has been shown to be true.
No, but that's still predicated upon a fixed point. If there's no fixed point,
what do you mean by fixed point?
Hang on, let me tackle this one if I can. Fixed point. What do you mean by fixed point, and how do we not have it?
So, to say there's a fixed point, you have to make an assumption. Well, I must not be moving, or that thing isn't moving.
No. You don't have to go that far.
You know how parallax is measured to stars? We can measure stars to about, I think it's around 300 parsecs using parallax methods, because we can now resolve angles down to about 0.01 milliarcseconds, I believe.
And it's still predicated on a fixed point.
Why? Okay, going back to the original question, what do you mean by fixed points, and how do we not have it?
Well, I'll tell you how you're going to make the measurement. The way you make a measurement to the stars using parallax is you pick a point in time. Let's say we pick June 21st. And at nighttime, you make your sightings to a star. You know that you're at one point in the Earth's orbit. Then 6 months later, you go and make the same measurement, because you know you're going to be diametrically opposed 2 astronomical units away, 2 distant. You're going to be across Earth's orbit.
Which is predicated on the Earth is revolving around the sun.
Can I? Let me get this out. Let me just get this out real quick.
There's always some basal assumption that you're going to make.
Okay. You're 100% wrong on that, and we'll get to that in a moment. But the fact is that I asked you a question, and I still didn't get an answer. So I'm going to ask you one more time. What do you mean by fixed points, and how do we not have it?
A fixed point is something that isn't moving.
Okay. Why time
out of it?
Why can't we make a parallax measurement while we're moving?
No, a fixed point. No, you need something that isn't moving to make the parallax.
Why?
Okay, you can do that. You can do it to the planets. You could measure the distance out, say, to Jupiter using fixed points on the Earth.
Yep.
Which assumes that the Earth isn't moving.
Oh
no,
my
you do it
fucking God,
instantaneously.
people.
It doesn't matter if the Earth is moving or not. You just you pick 2 points on the surface of the Earth, say 2 observatories spaced, say 2,000 miles apart. And they're both aimed at Jupiter. And then you can sit electronically and say, all right, make the measurements. The instruments are going to take and make their angular measurements, which are given within microseconds of one another because of electronic communication. You can send an electronic pulse to the instruments and say, make the measurement now. And that would be within microseconds of one another. So it doesn't matter if the Earth is moving or not.
If you could draw it out, that would help.
Okay. Actually, that's why I'm presenting it to everybody right now so that people can see just how full of shit you are. Let me get this out now, and I'm not actually joking from here. If I get interrupted again, I'm booting your ass. So, going on it, I'm still going to ask this one more time, part-time. What do you mean by fixed points, and how do we not have it?
A fixed point is something that we assume isn't moving.
Okay. How do we not have it?
Because we don't know if we're moving or if the object is moving. We don't know.
And why does that matter when we're taking a snapshot in time?
What do you mean a snapshot in time?
When you make your observation, I say, okay, let's take a picture of this object and do our parallax measurement right about now. All of a sudden, there's a snapshot. It's freeze framed. The data is there. What the plants are doing in the meantime that you're doing the math is irrelevant, correct? Because you have a snapshot in time.
No.
Yes, or you do. Otherwise, are your pictures on the wall fucking moving as we're speaking?
No. So let's say like I'm looking out into the sky.
No,
right?
answer the question.
I'm trying to answer the question, but you cut me off.
No, you're not answering the question. You're trying to deviate. So I'm going to hold your feet to the fire at this point. I've been way too nice. Yes, me being way too nice at this point. I am going to hold your feet to the fire this time. I'm done playing this fucking game. Okay? If you take a snapshot, that means the data is frozen in time for you to look at in more detail at that particular of what happened at the particular moment in time when you took the snapshot, correct? And so if you're able to do that, that means you have your fixed points. You don't have to take motion into consideration. You have all the data points you need to in order to draw a fucking right triangle, and then you're able to do your parallax measurement right there, correct?
Wrong.
Okay, explain to me how that's wrong, despite the math showing otherwise.
So if I'm looking at 2 points in the sky, I have point A and I have point B. I take a picture and I have a snapshot. Point A is to the left of point B. Okay, I take another picture 2 seconds later. Now
it's not 2 seconds later. That's right there. That's where you went wrong. It's not 2 seconds later. 2 observers at the exact same time, thanks to the magic of modern day communication, took their snapshot at the exact same time from 2 different locations on the planet. Therefore, motion can be ignored and the data points can be looked at as the raw data points they are, freeze framed in time. So tell me how that's wrong and how we're not able to make a parallax measurement based off of that.
So you're saying, say it again, because you went too fast.
Can I address that, Red?
Hang on. Let me answer him and then we're going. 2 observers, okay? They're looking at the same object, okay? They take their image, they take their snapshot, they take their data, whatever you want to call it, at the exact same time.
Okay.
Okay, the exact same time, which means that your two observation points are freeze framed. Motion need not dictate what the fuck the data is showing at that point because the data is freeze framed in time. So you know that at the time you took the image, the planet was this far away.
Sure.
Okay, so that's accurate, correct? Is that accurate, correct? That is a legit method of looking at parallax, correct?
You're describing parallax with 2 people, but I still don't understand how that negates the fact that these people don't know if they're in motion or if the things are taking a picture of are in motion.
Because it goes back to the original point. Since we're able to take snapshots, you didn't disagree with me right there. You said, okay, that's cool, and then you move on to the next point. So I'm assuming that you agree with this method of taking parallax measurements. Okay, cool. If we agree that that is a correct method of taking parallax measurements, then we're able to pretty much model the distance to other planets using the same fucking method and even other stars. And so if we were to assume that the Earth were the center of the universe, you know, predicated on that, let's say, and we were to do the observations like, let's say, what Sean Huffer was saying, Neptune, we would be forced to conclude then, given that we know the distance to Neptune, that it would be breaking the speed of light in order to make a complete trip around us in a 24-hour period. And since what George said, you know, explained quite well, actually, that's complete horse shit, that cannot happen, and being that Neptune is a object made of, you know, mass, we know that the geocentric model based on that alone is bullshit. But when we do the observation and make it into a heliocentric model, all of a sudden all the problems are fixed that we had with the geocentric model. So this predicated bullshit scenarios that you're constantly coming up with to try and debunk this method of thinking doesn't actually work when you take into account the fact that the methodology you even agree with and the methodology that you agree with is debunking the geocentric bullshit. All of this was, you know, explained quite thoroughly on Cohort Logic's channel. I'll send you the playlist. Now you can go, George.
Yeah. Just a comment on the geocentric model. The reason why the geocentric model was abandoned a long time ago was the fact that it could not adequately explain like what's called the retrograde motion of Mars. That at certain times of Mars orbit, it actually looks like Mars reverses orbital direction, and that's very easily explained by the observer vantage point when you talk about a heliocentric model. But what happened with the geocentric models, in order to accommodate like the retrograde of Mars and other planets, they had to add epicircles upon the circles, and with other observations that cause complications, you ended up getting epicircles upon epicircles, and the model just became so cumbersome and so complex that when the heliocentric model was developed and explained all these things, the geocentric model was abandoned because, you know, you could just, of Occam's razor, you know, the simplest explanation is probably the correct explanation. The geocentric model just fell apart just because of its sheer complexity and weight. It just was bollocks.
And then later on, the inherent contradictions that the model possesses, you know, aka breaking the speed of light, or objects having multiple masses at the exact same time in order to, you know, comport with orbital mechanics.
Yeah, someone there is showing the retrograde motion. What's meant by that?
Yep,
that's a diagram.
Exactly. Also,
not to mention,
oh, go ahead, Kara.
Not to mention that, like, darn it.
No, we can hear you. You're still there, Kara?
She lost her point. She's trying to think of it.
Oh, that's okay. I'll pick up until she gets.
Geocentrism provides no mechanism for any of these epicycles or anything like that, whereas the heliocentric model quite simply provides gravity, something that's measurable, testable, and very useful for making predictions anywhere from firing a cannon to predicting where Mars will be in the next 100 years. It's like we have the mechanism in combination with the observations, so it's a double-edged sword that takes down geocentrism.
Why don't you explain there what you have, or I can, so that people know what you're seeing is what's shown there is the blue Earth on the bottom is making its orbit, and just above it, the red planet Mars is doing its orbit, and then way at the end of the dotted line is what you have is the apparent motion to an observer on Earth. Could you bring that back, Cara? Yeah.
That's not me.
At the end, at the top, at the end of the dotted line is showing what you would see as the apparent motion. What that dotted line is showing is an observer standing on the Earth, looking at Mars, and because of the different speeds, Earth's orbit and Mars orbit, the apparent motion that you see is in that kind of S-turn up above. You can explain that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like parallax. It's like parallax if you're looking at distant mountains and you're driving past a car on the highway.
Yep. Before we get
the
any
speeds
further,
change and stuff like that.
before we get any further, I have to just ask real quick. So, part-time, based on everything you've heard so far, is it safe to conclude that we pretty much know our shit and the geocentric model has been shown to be bullshit, and that it's actually everything perfectly explained by the heliocentric model?
There's two things I'm gonna have to look over. It's going to be the speed of light and the observer issue. I never considered the observer issue. If there was two observers, would that actually solve the observer issue? If that's the case, then parallax is possible, to my understanding. But if that's not the case, then there's still some assumptions that we go by to explain what we see. Now, like I said, I'm going to look into it. I don't know. And as far as the speed of light, I've seen a lot of evidence that says that there is no speed to the universe, and I've seen a lot of evidence that says there is a speed to the universe. I'm going to look over that again. So honestly, I don't know, but I'm hearing what you guys are saying. So,
you know, honestly,
I've never seen the prior.
I'm not gonna hang on. I'm not gonna beat this dead horse anymore. I honestly think it's pointless to explain to him any further because we'll just end up repeating ourselves. I want to move on to the third and final point, if that's okay with everyone, or the third and final.
Could I just make a final comment on the parallax?
Sure, so long as it's brief.
Yeah, it'll be brief. Consider this. Suppose you have two people on a train, one on near the engine, one near the caboose, and you're going down the tracks, and you have, say, surveyor theodolite, and you're aiming in the distance. You want to measure the angle. You have a baseline, a distance between observer A and observer B, though they're both moving. Now, would you agree or disagree that with proper timing, that if both observer at point A and point B recorded their angular measure at the same time, that you would be able to triangulate and make that measurement regardless of the fact that the train is moving?
You would be able to triangulate if you got at this exact same moment. You would be able to triangulate it.
Okay, well, that's exactly what you can do on Earth with a baseline of, say, 2,000 miles. All you have to do is have an observer at point A, an observer at point B, separated, say, by 2,000 miles, and have a control center at the center, 1,000 miles from each of them. At each observer is getting their instruments trained on an object in the heavens, and then at a given specific time, the control center at the center sends out an electromagnetic signal. So it will arrive at the same time to observer A and observer B and tells them, now, bang, take a photograph, make your data measurement. So you could time this well within whatever signal jitter there is, and that could be well within nanoseconds of one another. So it really doesn't matter if the Earth were moving or not. The amount of error that you're going to have is going to be so minute because of the fact that the data was recorded almost simultaneously within nanoseconds of one another.
I was kind of referring to another issue, but I'm gonna look into it because it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, we can keep going.
All right, next point. This one is actually gonna be very brief before I bring this thing up to a close, because I think you know, I just want to hear it, because I will remind you all, including people in the chat, that there was a lovely individual, the shirtless Batman, we call him, aka Nature Hacker. He is best known for not knowing how to put a shirt on, hold the phone sideways while recording a video, and understanding how SpaceX works. So I want to ask you, part-time, you saw my video of the SpaceX Falcon 9 landing, and I'm assuming also the footage posted by my friend Astronomy Live, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you agree that the Falcon 9 landings are real, are not CGI, that they actually happen?
Yeah.
Okay. And so for the people that are saying that the Falcon 9 landings are fake, what would you say about those people? That they are simply incorrect on it?
Why do you always do this, dude?
It's a simple damn question.
You can't toe both lines.
Yes. What Curtis just said.
You can't say that, you're not wrong, it's all CGI, and at the same time say, yeah, it's not CGI.
So you're telling me there are people that said that your video was CGI?
Yeah.
You probably heard of one of them, Russian vids.
Not every flat earther is correct. If that's what you're saying.
Which one is
correct?
Name one.
I think that is that as close as we're gonna get to.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's it.
Not every. You can extrapolate that. Some flat earthers are incorrect from that statement, so that's about as good as it's going to get.
I would really like to hear his list.
No, there is one flat earther who is correct about some things.
Yeah, he knows how to put butter on toast instead of putting butter on bread and then in the toaster.
No. Tiger Dan, he was smart enough to leave flat Earth.
Yeah.
Can you really classify it as a flat earther anymore, though?
Yeah. Although okay, so
that's exactly the point.
Okay, so you agree that the Falcon 9 landings actually happen, correct?
Yeah.
Why is there a sign in your voice when you say that?
Because he doesn't.
You can hear the triggering of his fellow flat earthers in the background.
I do acknowledge that the Falcon 9 landing does create an extraordinary amount of butthurt because people like Jism, Bob, and Russian Vids have all said multiple times that landings are fake, including Nature Hacker has said that the landings are fake. Yeah, and we have shown that to be complete and total horseshit, being that there's someone that we know. He's some ugly fuck from Florida, from what I've heard. Isn't that right, Jared?
I'm still recovering.
Yes, sorry about that.
And Tennessee did not help.
So with that being said, I actually recorded the Falcon 9 landing. You admit that they actually happened. And so if a certain individual, let's not even name names at this point. Let's just say if a certain individual said that the Falcon 9 landings were 100% fake, is that certain individual wrong?
One word is needed. That's it.
Just one word. Just say it. Let's end this hangout on a good note.
I literally said that people are incorrect. Why can't we just?
Because everyone can be incorrect.
Why?
A specific example.
Yeah. Why can't you just said yes? The douchebag was fucking wrong.
Even if it's
a nicer
just
way.
one guy, just this
Even
one.
if it's just one guy,
one particular thing.
Okay, listen. I understand that that flat Earth may have a cult mentality, and I'm trying really hard to like get that concept out of my head. But you're making it really, really hard to not see the groupthink just flowing through you.
No, I mean this is less about flat Earth and more about who I am. I just don't like to say.
You don't like to call a spade a spade? If a dude is wrong, he's fucking wrong. Why won't you just come out and say it?
Well, yeah, I told you. I said, yeah, look, it's real. It looked real to me from what you showed.
Reg, they have his cat hostage.
Unless you're like,
in trouble.
No, they're using their cocks to hold his tongue hostage.
Sounds like a good time.
Sounds like a fucking frat party to me.
But that's what I said. I mean,
No.
you were like, is the Falcon X landing, was it real? I was like, Falcon 9, yeah. I was like, it looks real to me. I don't see how you could fake something like that with independent. Like, if it's independent people getting recordings, I'm like, okay, that's probably legit. You know?
Okay. I'm going to pose a hypothetical to you. And we're going to end the hangout just on this, because I think everyone can make their own conclusions based on this one hypothetical. And I'm going to end it right here. Then everyone can say their final things and whatnot. If I took you with me And I actually did the most retarded thing ever and actually bought tickets to the fucking thing because I can get better viewings when not on location, but whatever. I took you with me. And you saw with your own eyes on a clear blue day the Falcon 9 lift off. You saw that bitch do a flip, and then you saw the bitch come landing down. Then here comes Russian vids posting up a video on YouTube saying, this is bullshit that never happened, and everyone there is a government shill. Are you really going to tell me that you would not jump up and say that he was wrong? Would you say he was wrong?
Is the cult mentality.
If you saw the CGI with your own eyes.
This is why you're a flat earther.
No, that's a funny hypothetical. But I mean, obviously there would be somebody wrong. But when you say somebody's what?
Somebody would be wrong. Would that somebody be the person making the assertion that the shit was fake?
And here comes an object.
And okay, hang on over, whatever. Okay, everyone, we're gonna say our final piece to part-time, and then this hangout's gonna be a clusterfuck from that point forward. Actually, fuck it, Curtis, Pew, if you guys want to troll now. Part-time at this point, no more seriousness. We're done here. You can leave if you want, stay if you want. Don't really give a shit. Troll for about 5 minutes, and then we'll end the hangout.
Shonies.
Oh fuck you, P, stole it. You motherfucker, I'll kill you.
It's a battle of the shitlords at this point.
I will win this war. I've lost this battle, but I will win this meme war.
Fuck off.
Motherfucker, I want to find out where you live, Pio, and I'm gonna take a shit in your throat when you're asleep.
Wait. I have to ask a part-time.
You got to get past his mom first.
Oh, that was perfect, Sean.
Hang on. Grab another bottle of bleach. Although I do want to bring it back to Mr. Virginity Stealer. Virginity Stealer, you actually want to go back to being serious for a moment, so I'm going to give you the floor.
just for a moment.
If anyone interrupts him, I'm booting your ass.
So part-time, you once said that if individual observers take a video of something, or then it's probably not CGI, right? If like independent people on this hangout do something, then what if I told you that this one guy, Epistemology for the Truth, and we both did some observing of the ISS. We took some angled elevations over a known distance, and we actually figured out the elevation of the ISS. And we also zoomed that on a flat Earth, and it came to be above 200 miles. What do you have to say to that?
Is this video evidence or picture evidence or anything?
We took pictures because that's the data. And we did it both on our phones, which tells us the angle of elevation. And we also tested that to like some known objects such as Jupiter. And we verified that it was within like a fair amount of accuracy.
That'd be interesting to see. I mean, I'm not against it, If the Earth is
I could show you the pictures right now, as well as the calculations, and you could verify this for yourself. All you need is a known distance of over, let's say, 300 miles, and like a $6 or a $5 theodolite app, and you can figure out the height of the ISS, and it's like well into space.
Well, you do realize I'm not saying that everything you guys show me is CGI. Like, if a flat earther says that, then obviously we need to talk.
They're wrong.
No, you're just not wanting to go so far as to say that the things that we're showing you completely debunk their horseshit, which is honestly, I'm going to consider that just as much of an insult as anything else. Because when I say we, I really do mean we, as in all of us that don't have our heads completely rammed off our ass. Jeranism. We go out of our way to do these observations, to make these measurements, to learn the complicated mathematics, because flat earthers simply won't do it themselves, or they simply have an incapability of doing it themselves. Like, for example, when I have rocket launches, I travel 2.5 hours each way to capture the damn things. And Soundly always travels to Lake Pontchartrain and captures the same set of towers from multiple different angles to show that, yes, curvature is actually being seen, and that Dr. Zach is completely full of shit. And when it came to Jared, he drove how fucking far to get to to get to Tennessee? I
Mm,
mean, let's be
It's
honest
a little
here.
over 1,000 miles one way.
One way, one way. We went there
Fit-
to. Go ahead. Yeah, so a really fucking far distance. And all of us came to the same spot with multiple pieces of equipment, with multiple different sensitivities to capture this thing from multiple different aspects, all for your guys' benefit. And also because we like to ram it, down your throats, aka up your ass. So we have basically gone above and beyond for flat earthers, giving them the evidence that they have asked for. And in the end, what do we get as a result? We don't get you actually admitting that this evidence completely debunks them. You just say, well, it's interesting and it seems to debunk them, but I'm not going to come out and say it. And then when you get to the hardcore flat earthers like Jism, we get called demon worshippers, baby eaters, we worship pedophiles, all because we have a mental capacity that makes
functioning
us
understanding.
Yeah, exactly. We have a functional brain which makes us smarter than your average 2-year-old. So
that's insulting 2-year-olds.
That is insulting to 2-year-olds. My apologies. Actually, not really. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, don't do that to my fellow in shit posts.
Hey.
You like my screen reds?
You do know I can still ban you, right?
I know. I just want to make it fun before you do.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, Pew. Do you know that I'm better than you at screens? Because I have the capability of broadcasting to everyone, motherfucker, and you don't.
Oh, Pew. How could you do that?
And so it returns.
It's come back to haunt you.
God damn it.
Yes, I win. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
stop now, while you're ahead.
Anyway, now that we've essentially beat this dead horse long enough, I'm gonna let By the Time completely finish his thought, because in all fairness, I did interrupt him. So
don't interrupt people.
Pew,
what's up?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
That toaster needs to be a little bit lower.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Virginity Stealer.
Yeah, so I was just, and the second thing is, I was just going to tell you that if you don't want to go into the complicated math jargon of, finding the elevation and actually, triangulating the actual distance up high, another thing you can do is, it's pretty simple. All you need to go is to some hill or some place that's above 2,000 or 3,000 feet and get a clear view of the horizon. And using the same theodolite, you can measure the angle at which the horizon dips below eye level, and which eye level is being defined as 0 degrees, meaning looking right at it. And from that, you can see that the horizon drops from eye level. You can do this at multiple locations and at multiple elevations, and you will get a graph. Able to plot all these, you will get a graph that matches almost exactly with what you would expect if the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles. And this is not something that's very difficult to do. You can prove it conceptually that the Earth is a sphere just by taking the actual measurements, knowing that they're measurements. Or you could actually go a little deeper and find out the actual variables and figure out the radius of the Earth, because that's how deep in you can go. It's pretty simple to do. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. So now that we have that, part-time, I'm going to give you a chance to say your final thoughts, but I want you to focus on one thing first, if you can, before you branch out to everything else. And that's the Falcon 9 landing, since that was the last thing we actually spoke about. So before you get started, you do agree that the Falcon 9 landing is real, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. By proxy, you're pretty much saying that, or as a consequence of that, you're saying that a lot of flat earthers are full of shit. Now, what that does to you as far as the grandstanding, because I don't know, do they have ranks? Do they have like badges? Is it like a black belt, green belt system in the flat earth community?
I think it's more of a rating of how far you have to deep throat.
I'd win. I'd be the grand Ku Klux Klan leader of the flat Earth.
Yeah. So
Well, the higher up in the rank,
Grand Dragon of Flat Earther.
No, the higher up in the ranks you go, the less you have to deep throw. So Jern just has to kiss other people's dicks. Part-time has to just swallow it down to the balls.
I just start at the feet and then head for the ears.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, part-time. Enough joking. Say what you guys say and then get the fuck out. I'm ending this hangout.
Interesting conversation. I'm going to look into the speed of light constant, and I'm gonna look into the observer issue. And when's the next Reg?
Whenever the fuck I want it to be. I honestly don't have an exact date.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess it'll just be yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys for the conversation. Have a good one, man.
Yep. Also, I will be responding to something in the live chat. It was said in the live chat that I should debate Bro Sanchez, like an actual debate. That would be fine. I just don't think the dude is able to stay on topic of the debate. So I would be reluctant, but I am willing to give it a shot. Find a moderator that isn't going to be, completely shit. I vote Sean Hufford because he's actually a decent moderator. If he's willing to do that and follow the debate format in a way that he actually has to back up his bullshit. So, for example, flat Earth or round Earth, which model best comports with reality, and he has to bring evidence for a flat Earth with an actual structure and everything, then yeah, I'll be more than happy to debate Bro Sanchez, flat Earth asshole, Eric Dubé. Oh, fuck yes, please make that happen. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this right now. If you guys get Eric Dubé to agree to such a thing, I will ejaculate at such a furious rate. It will launch. My jizz will launch itself into orbit. So
instead of Newton's cannon, we got Red's penis.
Yes, instead of Newton's cannon, you have my penis. Make that shit happen, and there will be jizz in orbit. Okay, there you go.
Just my only request is that you don't hurt Hana in the process. That's all I ask.
Oh, she won't. Pew.
No. It won't hurt Hana. It will just blow the bottom of the mattress out.
Yes.
Well, hurt his hand.
Remember, the dick is going to be in the mattress when this happens.
Oh, okay.
So basically, just make sure she's not on the mattress.
Or under it.
Equal and opposite reaction. Wouldn't you go flying backwards too?
You know what, Pew? I'm sick of your shit, so shut the fuck up. Let's go ahead and get through this.
Dense.
Okay, so by the time, say what you guys say and get the fuck out.
I don't have anything to say. Oh, well.
All right, get the fuck out. All right, let's go with Kara. Say what you guys say and get the fuck out.
Geometry work. You should try it sometime.
Epic. Okay, Pew, say what you guys say and get the fuck out. Actually, scratch that. Fuck you. Okay.
Roasted, mate. Fuck you.
Curtis, say what you guys say and get the fuck out.
Hannah, contact me on Twitter. I'll give you that blowjob I owe you for getting into this hangout. I'm a man of my word.
That begs the question: who's got the bigger penis, Red or Hannah?
Hannah.
Hannah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Is this even a question?
All right. See you guys later.
See ya. George, say what you guys say and get the fuck out.
I'd just like to ask a quick question. Is what's his name? Part-time. I get questions every now and then about people claiming that they've seen stars behind the moon, that the moon is somewhat transparent and starlight can shine through. What is your position on that? Do you also accept that?
We need to set up a conversation outside of here because I have like a long reply to that.
Well,
no, all right, keep it short. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Hang on. Before you two continue this, I'll just let you know Steve McRae is going to be having an after show, like literally right after this one. He says it's starting in 6 minutes, so you guys should have that conversation on Steve McRae's channel.
I just give him something quick to ponder on. If indeed the moon is transparent and allows sunlight or starlight to shine through, then how can it be that that same moon during an eclipse blocks out the starlight of our sun? You know, how does that work? Anyway, Red, I sent you a contact request. I'd like you to accept it if you can, so I have you in my contact list in the future so I can get in touch with you. So that's it.
On what medium? On what medium?
Oh, I did it on Hangouts. On Hangout.
All right, yeah, it'll be accepted then. All right, so take care.
Hey, take care.
All right, and so with that, Jared, say what you gotta say and get the fuck out.
Why do I subject myself to this much brain damage?
You masochist.
That must be it.
Anything else? Nope. Okay, sounds good. All right, Sean, you'll be the final person, and then I'll end this thing. So, Sean, say what you gotta say and get the fuck out.
I've got a few things. First, Pew, make sure your mom gives us permission next time we do this, because I fear for my life. And Steve, I'll join that hangout just because I've accepted George's correction, but I'm pretty sure you still got some throttling from me too. So I'll join that just so you can give me the proper correction. See you later.
All right, and with that, this hangout is over. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. This hangout will be unlisted, so only those that have the link can actually watch the damn thing. I'm not going to post it on the Redshift channel because fuck that noise. I don't feel like doing the work because I'm a lazy bag of shit, and you guys know this already. So with that, take care, peace out, bye.